great opportunities for you to find out if, or what you want to know about space.
Chemo's pretending about opposite reactions again. We're trying to get elaborate.
Stay out of it, mate.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like Veach. This is
Sunrays.
Andrew. This is you can call him Veach or Scott. And like I say, his
He
father
he actually prefers Marshall, doesn't he?
Or Marshall.
No. But you can call him actually. One is my first name.
His father went to
I'm only joking. I'm only having
there's footage online, Andrew, if you want to see his father actually in space on the ISS. No, not the ISS, was it?
You're a new flat earther, Andrew. Is that the deal?
Oh, that's cool. Well, I have images of unicorns. You want to see them?
Oh, I guess. But maybe later. You have you're a new flat earther. Is that the idea?
I'm not really new. I've been for a while.
You said the thing that convinced you was the corpuscular rays, really?
No, the things that convinced me was literally everything. From Black Swan to everything.
You said at 2 a.m. you were screaming about something. What was the thing you were screaming about?
And I just said that at the beginning, the thing that clicked with me was the way sunrise diverged through the clouds. That was the thing that got me the best.
What was it that woke you up at 2 p.m. in the morning, had you screaming?
Yeah, that thing with the sunlight through the clouds. Fourth time I'm saying it.
Right.
Not listening. Anyway, like I say, Veach's father went to space, Andrew.
Oh, I was listening.
Hey, Chemo, we're trying to talk about the rays.
Okay.
It's not gonna be. There's too many people here. There's no way to do this. We can just.
And then I want to talk about.
We can do this.
People now. Don, stop. Let Veach have a conversation.
Okay, it's okay. I don't mind. Let's share the mic for everybody. There's too many.
We are going to share the mic, but we're going to get it started. And Andrew is saying it's not a globe, and you, Veach, say it is a globe. You've got evidence, proof. You're always telling us this. Why don't you tell Andrew what you tell us?
There's a lot of people here, so I don't want to hog the mic or anything, but I was just going to explore the corpuscular rays argument because it just seems surprising to me that you would find that so compelling. And there is a really easy way to understand what's going on there that isn't geometry so much as it is perspective. And I was just going to walk them through that. Have you heard the counter argument about what those corpuscular rays really are, Andrew?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I know exactly what you're about to say.
What would you guess? What would your guess be?
The whole point that even though two lines are perfectly parallel, it has to do with perspective, and they appear to diverge even though they're not diverging.
Yeah, that's right. And then why do you find that not compelling or not convincing?
Because it's complete bullshit, because that applies only in one plane. There has never been any geometric creation in 3D where you have, let's say, 5 planes of rays, and then all of them seem to diverge from one standpoint of view. That's impossible.
There's only one plane though. Those rays are coming down.
No. There are multiple. There's the one hitting you. There's the one that's vertical to the ground. There's the one that's parallel to the ground.
You only see one plane of it though. You see the plane.
What do you mean? You're watching 3D. You're now watching a 2D image.
You only see the plane that's vertical to you, right? If you're looking ahead,
no, you're seeing all of them. No, you can see rays that go from top to bottom in front of you, perpendicular. And you can see the ones coming into your eyes. Then you can see going behind you.
Okay. Andrew, you have to let me finish a sentence before you start talking. Otherwise, this becomes a free-for-all. It just becomes a brawl. But the things you're looking at, they converge as they get higher. Is that not right?
Sure.
All right. And so the farther away they are vertically from you, the closer they are together, right?
Yep.
Which is the definition of perspective, right?
Yep.
So why is it that that's not just a perspective effect? The very, very high away, they appear to be closer. The very close, when they're closer to you, like near the ground, they appear to be wider. That makes perfect sense.
No, it doesn't. What you're explaining is just 10% of what's going on. Let me get a picture for you to show you.
Right.
Have you ever seen the small dot through a large hole? Because that's a really good one.
No, but I've heard a lot of bullshit coming out of one mouth.
The small light, the sun behind the that was.
We're just waiting for this picture, Don. You realize that, yeah?
All right, big kind of random one. Let's go with this one. Can I post? I'm able to post.
Post it in
all right.
Yeah, that's it. That's the one.
Okay, so I guess I should open Paint and name them. Okay, wait, I'll do that. That's more.
So efficient. you see how when the rays are closest to you, they're farthest apart, and when they're farthest away from you, they're closer together, right?
Yeah, sure, but the problem, there's multiple planes in here.
I'm not sure that's important. I mean, if you look at the thing below,
yes, it is.
If you look at the thing below that Rupert Cow posted, you'll see there's proof that this is what's going on. Those things are built to be parallel. If you watch the GIF, I bet you it'll pan out to show you that they are indeed parallel. And yet, look at the way they look like corpuscular rays right there.
Can you
Yeah, well,
reproduce?
wait, hold up. In your GIF, everything goes in the same direction. In my picture, I can argue there's 1, 2, at least 4 different directions.
Yeah.
All you've
So,
given me is one
again,
direction. That's your
but
problem.
again-
That's what you Globers always dodge.
But again, though, I'm not sure why you think that isn't going to be a perspective effect. Look at the one
No.
Look at the one that. Hold on, guys. Look at the one that Harold just posted. You see that one?
No, I've wait, which one?
That's a different
Okay,
one.
yeah,
It's one that Harold posted.
yeah. No,
Wrong.
it has nothing to do with the picture I posted.
But it
That is
does, though. It
directly-
does. It's
No,
the
no,
same
no, no, no.
phenomenon.
But no,
It's the
no,
same
that's
phenomenon.
directly.
No,
You're right. Nope, it's
I
not.
can't
No, it
hear
isn't.
anybody. I can't hear anything.
Oh, what's
Don.
the deal? Don, do you want to talk, Don? You can talk if you want to talk,
No,
Don. It's not
Don,
me.
stop doing that.
I'll yield to Don. Let Don
No,
talk. He
it's
clearly
not-
wants to.
Not that.
I'm
Veach.
just totally agreeing with him too, Scott. Scott, it's different. It's apples to
I
oranges.
can't hear anything you're doing that. So you go ahead and talk, Don.
Yeah, you can't do it, Don, while Veach is talking. Yeah?
Fine,
Okay.
fine. You all go no, yes, and don't want to hear anybody else agree or disagree.
Go ahead, Don. You have the mic. I don't mind at all. I really
Yeah,
don't.
don't
Back
do
it
that,
up.
Veach.
I agree with
Yeah,
him,
Don-
Scott. His
Don,
picture, I'd
it's
like
not
to
gonna
see
work.
his.
Now, you can only hear Veach.
Spurs, what are you doing? You don't mute him when he's halfway through a
Oh, that's not
statement.
cool.
Yeah, I'm explaining something.
Come on, Chemo. I'm on your side on this.
All
one.
right, but got Andrew here. Okay, new flat earther.
Andrew,
Not new,
you're
but
doing
he's a
great,
new-
Andrew. Keep it up. You're right
Spurs.
on the.
Spurs, stop
What?
trying to shepherd this conversation. It's fine.
No, it's not fine if we can't hear Veach's response.
Scott and
I know,
Andrew
I'm
were talking.
Sorry, he's killing it.
Scott and Andrew were talking, and he said it's fine for Don to say something.
Right,
so go
was-
ahead, Don.
Can we move forward?
I'm trying to. You're stopping it.
Yeah, I know
Which-
I rumpus, but I
which
don't
way
waste
is
time
forward?
politicking. I just say the information.
Goodness sake.
Oh, which way is forward?
This dude
Forward,
is killing it. Can we
forward
reproduce this picture,
is
please? Can we
Veach
reproduce
continuing
that?
his line of questioning with Andrew. That's the way
Apples to
forward.
apples.
Who we
Well,
muted?
Andrew thinks the sun is right there just beyond the clouds a little bit because he's a math whiz.
Hey, Don, what are you talking about? That doesn't make any sense at
Can
all.
you give me a citation of when I said that? Thank you.
Right,
So
this is the
when you
problem,
guys say
Curb.
look
We
at
don't
the-
want
That's the
this.
logical implication of your statement, sir.
Right, use a purpose you're trying to drive the new guest away. Okay, so just let the.
No, I'm not.
Yes, you
No,
are.
I'm engaging him. I'm
No,
engaging
you're
him.
straw manning him, and now let Veach.
Chemo, be quiet, please. You keep interjecting and making
Boss,
this a mess.
Are you drunk?
Please stop. Please stop.
He's
Okay,
like-
I'm
will
talking,
talk
you're
if I
just
give the
over-talking
golden
me.
ball sack. Give the new guy the golden ball sack, actually.
Yeah, let Andrew explain exactly what he thinks this means then and why.
All right, so I was explaining. Let's go back. So I posted the image at 7 minutes after the hour. Then Ripper Cow posted the GIF, same time. Then another one at the same time, which is a picture. So what's the problems? First of all, in the GIF, sure, there's perspective, but that has nothing to do with the picture I posted. There's multiple planes, and ones are going in front, away from you. Another one is going on the sides, away from you. If there was a gap at the top, there would be another one coming away from you. So it really has nothing to do with that. There's multiple planes. And then in the second picture, well, actually the first picture that Harold posted, the rays are coming at you. And again, it's the same problem that I have with all of them. There's multiple planes.
Well, planes,
if-
though, doesn't make a difference given the
It
fact
makes
that,
it okay. Then
tell
if
you
it
why it
doesn't make a
I'll tell you
difference,
why it
hold up.
doesn't. I'll tell you
If it
why it
doesn't make
If you
a
let me-
hold up.
let
If
me
it
finish my
doesn't make a
sentence, I will tell you
difference,
why it doesn't.
give
You gotta,
me a
Andrew,
3D
you
model.
gotta let me finish the sentence before you jump in to say
I
no.
know what you're about to say. I've heard you
What
guys.
am I gonna
one
say?
year.
What am I gonna say this time?
You're saying the same thing on and on. There's
No,
nothing
I'm
you
not. I
can
was
say.
gonna tell you exactly why the multiple planes doesn't matter.
And give him a 3D model.
I mean,
To
you
be
keep saying
fair,
multiple planes,
let-
multiple
let
planes,
him
but
make
that
his point,
means something,
Andrew.
and yet it doesn't mean anything. It doesn't cause a problem, and there's a reason for that. And that is the multiple planes doesn't trump one simple fact, which is things that are farther away are going to look smaller. It doesn't matter whether they're on the same plane as something else or not. They're going to look farther if their raw distance is farther away. Now,
That's not
that-
my argument.
but listen, but if that's true, then in order to figure out whether things are close or far apart, all you have to do is know the raw distance from you to the eyes, independent of what plane they're on. It doesn't
But
matter because
that
how
is
far away they
not
are determines
my
how big they are.
argument.
But
That's
then
not
that
my
means
argument.
that means you'll get a corpuscular rays effect, even if they're in multiple planes.
I get it,
Because
mate.
the raw distance is what matters.
I get it, but that's not my argument. That's
But
why
my
I
argument.
stopped.
I argue that's
Cool.
corpuscular rays.
Cool.
Argument.
And I agree
Don-
with you. There's no problem. The problem is we're not talking about that. You're using a straw man. This is a logical fallacy. Actually, this is red herring. What I'm pointing to is not what you're saying. This is the definition of red herring. This is what you're doing.
You said crepuscular rays made you realize that something was going on, and I'm telling you what the cause of crepuscular rays.
So if you are right in what you're saying, give me a 3D model where everything is parallel and you can redo the picture I've made. I demand a 3D model of perfectly parallel rays. Listen. And from the standpoint of the viewer in this picture of mine, they appear to diverge.
You really think that's not possible?
Show it then.
I just want to see.
What is your deal, Don? You're acting really weird. Just hush.
My deal is I agree with him.
I'm asking him a question, Don. I'm not asking you a question. I'm asking him if he thinks it's not possible.
No, listen, Scott. Yes. Scott, we're not gonna debate anything. I demand proof. You say it can be done. We're not gonna
demand proof.
Listen, of course I can. What do you mean?
I demand evidence of flat Earth. I demand it. Don, do you want to talk? Don. What is your deal, Don? If you can talk, if you want the mic. If you don't want the mic, then shut up.
Scott, if you're saying it can be done,
that's why I'm talking, because I want the mic.
Then go ahead. Then just ask for the mic and take it, but don't interrupt. Just go ahead.
Scott, if you say it can be done, then show me done. Show it to me.
Period.
I'll respond when I have the mic again, Andrew. Don has the mic.
We don't need
recreate his picture in a 3D model and show that they're parallel rays. You're fucking skirting the fucking question.
Talking to Don.
I posted a 3D model if you're interested.
No, it has nothing to do with what we're talking. Can you guys understand what I'm demanding? Look back.
There's been, if I may,
please listen, everybody, watch my picture.
Yeah, we can see your picture. It's a beautiful picture.
Yeah.
Rocket Scientist has posted a it modeled out at 14 past the hour, and I was curious though, what's the implications of what you're saying? What's happening there?
That the distance between the Earth and the Sun is not in any fucking way 93 million miles.
Yeah, so are you able to gauge through your observation how far it might be, at least?
According to some people's calculation, I don't have a sextant, so I wasn't able to do it myself.
Hold on, Andrew, can I say something to these guys real quick?
For fuck's sake, he was answering a question, Don.
Okay, but you guys are acting like we demanding this. It's on us. No, you guys said you can do it, and it's no big deal. Okay,
no, first of all, no one said that.
Yes,
you said V.
No, it is true that it's super easy and no big deal, but no one said that, Don. And you're jumping in to create a false narrative that just isn't happening. All that's happened so far is he said, I demand a model, and I said, do you really think that isn't possible? And then you started jumping in. So far, I've never even heard the answer to my question.
Bullshit, dude. You missed the target 3 times.
You're such a goofball, dude.
Oranges, you've given oranges to apples examples.
That's not right, Don. You're just confused. You're just confused, Don. Yes, Don. What? You know why that is? You know why that is? It's because that's all you've been doing this entire time.
Can't hear anybody. This is out of order.
Relax, Don.
This is out of order, this is. We can't hear anybody.
So, Don,
you should mute him now, Kimo.
I'm not sure what the problem is.
Mute him, yeah?
But you are confused. Hold on, guys. Let me just finish responding, then we can move on. Okay, we don't need to keep talking. Don, you're just deeply confused, Don. I don't know why. I don't know what about. I don't know why you're mad about how confused you are, but you are confused.
How about we talk about it slowly then, one-on-one, real quick?
Go ahead.
Hey, we'll interrupt the answer and go ahead.
Veej, why do we have to keep repeating what we want, and it seems like you're not addressing what we want?
I'll tell you why. Do you have a 3D package for me?
Too fast. Can you slow down, please?
Do you have a 3D package that I could use, please?
Okay. Well, I saw his 3D picture that we can assume it's reality, so there is 3 dimensions in there somewhere. And then your other buddies keep posting these slices of examples that don't recreate the whole thing the whole way, right? These little baby examples. And then there's big dick swinging.
Are you going to answer my question?
No, you're interrupting.
Because you're not answering my question. Do you have a 3D package that I could use?
All the software that's I don't have.
Do you have a 3D package that I hope you got cleared on? Yes or no?
No. Can we move
Okay.
All right, let's move on.
Stop hazing about why I haven't generated a 3D model yet. Okay.
All right, so let's move on. It can't be
No,
done,
I wanna
Don,
tell Scott V
to your
something.
standard.
No, I want to
whatever
finish
you're asking
this
for.
real quick. Real quick.
Well, how about I finish what I was talking to Andrew about
Since you don't have the thing,
Right, you see what you
and
mods
you
have
just
done.
assume it
before
can
you
Brought
jumped
this
in, Don.
conversation into disarray. Okay.
He's fucking pretending like he has it. He's admitting like he. I mean,
Oh,
come
for
on,
fuck's
guys.
sake.
It's ridiculous, man.
We can't have this. Don,
Don,
go
you're
on
like
2
so mixed
minutes.
up.
And don't unmute my mutes. Okay. So, Andrew. your
Andrew was
claim
answering a question
was-
about
just stop. I don't
he
know if
brought
you've
up
been
a
drinking
sextant.
or whatnot. Just stop. For
I
a
haven't been
second.
drinking. I was talking to Andrew. Don jumped in, and I didn't get Andrew's answer. He was halfway through it.
All right. Well, then ask
He was talking about the distance of the sun through his observation. He was about to say something about a sextant, and some other people having some
Yeah, I
measurements or
guess the
something.
distance might be something close to 3,000 miles. And the reason why it seems to be so much smaller is because of perspective, exactly what you're saying. Perspective makes it look as if it's much closer, but perspective does not help the whole vision to look as it does. Part of it is perspective, but you cannot prove that using only perspective. You need a physical sun being physically closer than 93 million miles away.
So he's asking you to model it on the ball so we can see it, how it would work.
Yeah, I just want rays. They're perfectly parallel, and put the viewer at any place you want, and simply remake the picture I've sent. It's that simple.
It's fairly easy to do. People have posted things that are pretty close to that.
No, they explain
Hang on,
to you how they're close.
Andrew, stop interrupting. But the real point that I'm trying to make right now, before you interrupted, was that you can use other methods to determine that this is not possibly what's going on, like looking at the picture with the crepuscular rays to the tree. If you can see a situation where it looks as if the crepuscular rays converge 5 feet above a tree, that's telling you that you can't trust the convergence of rays to tell you the distance of something.
All right, sure. I agree. I couldn't disagree. Sure.
Okay.
That doesn't
why do
prove
you
your
think-
case. That doesn't disprove my case. I demand treat him all of that, and everything I've been shown has nothing to do with the image I posted. Any 5-year-old
Post an image,
retard would figure
I
it.
didn't post an image, dude. I don't know what you're talking about.
Show me any image anybody has posted here that is anywhere close to what I posted.
3D one that Rupert Cow posted 2 after yours is close.
That which one?
The one that Rupert Cow posted like 2 after yours is close.
What minute?
Just look
It was
at where
the
you posted
GIF.
yours. You
The
talked
GIF
about-
has
you-
absolutely nothing to do with my picture. I'm
Well,
sorry.
then we're not very clear about what it is that you think is special about your picture. What do you think that you're showing your picture that's not in that GIF?
Again, I have rays coming away from me. They're not. I'm not
Those are
looking
away
at
from you.
them.
Look right
So
there,
first
going
thing,
away-
I'm not. Listen, dude. Stop interrupting. They're not looking at me. I'm not looking at the rays. There's no direct contact between my eyes and the rays. In the GIF, that is happening. In the picture, that is not happening. In the GIF, when the viewer goes on the left and looks at the rays from away, they all look parallel. Which, in my picture, it should mean that all of them should be perfectly parallel, and they're not.
Say that
So
last part again.
actually, the GIF is debunking yourself to begin with.
Say that last part again. I missed something I was typing. I'm sorry.
So, in the GIF, they only diverge when you're looking straight into their distance.
I mean, they're not looking straight in their distance. Look at the
Yeah,
three
when
that
you
are-
when you're looking along the structure of those lines, they seem to diverge. When you're looking from the side, they don't seem to do anything.
you're
they're
both from the
perfectly
side
parallel.
and along, though, right? Because the 3 in the middle there, the ones that are farther away, you're not looking along the length of them the way you are the others, are you?
Yeah, they don't diverge as they do in my picture. In my picture,
They
there's nothing coming directly at you. You're looking at them from a side.
Yes. But again,
And looking at
you-
them from a side, they diverge. I demand that. Every single picture and GIF I've been given, it's rays coming directly at the viewer's eyes.
like what White Rider is supposed to be on there, right?
I
Sorry?
totally agree with him, Scott.
Hey,
Please
Adam,
take him
Don,
serious.
you're such an idiot, Don. Shut the fuck up. You have nothing to add. Literally have nothing to add. So
I just
why
want
is
to
it?
hear that I
Don, shut up. Like, if you want to take the mic, take the mic. Otherwise, shut up. It's your choice. I don't care which you choose, but you got to pick one or the other, dude. So
Don,
here's the deal, though.
Let Andrew argue his point.
I haven't responded yet.
Not you. I'm saying to Don. Let Andrew argue his point to you.
It's
Why
okay,
is it-
Don will be quiet.
So why is it that you think that because they're coming more at you than they are in your picture, why is it that you think that that makes a difference in terms of this perspective effect?
You
In
literally
both
just
cases,
prove that.
but in both cases, the part that's farther away appears to be closer, and we know that's going to be true from perspective, right?
Sure, but your GIF proves that it has to do. It has something to do.
But I mean, it doesn't prove anything. The GIF is just a certain thing that shows this phenomenon. It would also be true if it wasn't true in your picture too. Then it would mean perspective does not work the way we think it works, right? Because the top is farther away than the bottom, right?
So now you're saying that the GIF doesn't prove anything, and 5 minutes ago you said it proves that my picture is explained.
I'm not saying that it doesn't prove anything. I never said it didn't prove anything.
You just said it doesn't prove anything 20 seconds ago.
No, I didn't say that. What I'm saying right now is that the light rays that are at the very top of your picture are farther away from you than the bottom light rays, correct? Just from geometry, just draw a triangle and you see that they're farther away, right?
Sure.
Okay, if they're farther away, then we know by the law of perspective they will appear to be closer, right?
Sure.
So doesn't perspective completely account for what you're seeing there?
Not completely. Part of it is, but it's not completely.
You know, why not?
Because it's not.
What's your argument for that?
Because I was never able to find any optical illusion that simply generates that image.
How is that an argument that that's not perspective, though?
I just want proof. If it is, then you can calculate and you can prove it.
So let me suppose what you have. You don't have any reason to think that it's not perspective. You don't have an argument for that. You just sort of suspect, maybe, hopefully, it's not. And if you can find it, if you can't find an example,
no. In science, everything is not proven until it's proven.
Well, in science, nothing is ever proven. But
no, if you want to prove it's because of perspective, you got to prove it. Unless you don't prove it, then it's not fully because of perspective. You can't.
No, I can. What I can do is provide you evidence that accumulates in favor of that. But in science, we don't really prove things, right? We just can accumulate.
What do you mean in science we don't really prove things?
Science doesn't prove things. It accumulates evidence in favor of a hypothesis.
Can you give me a citation of that?
So many. Do you really need one? Seriously?
Yes, I really need one.
All right, I'll give it to you. Hold on.
I need a citation that science does not prove things.
Yeah, I'll get you one.
Where are we now in the discussion? Let's bring in Don. Don can obviously add what's being said now. V has bit the dust for now, and obviously he'll be back. But Don, saying you agree with Andrew. Why?
Bro, I thought we was all having a group conversation. I'm impressed with the way Andrew keeps sticking to the distinctions of his assertion and his observation, and for some reason, people keep acting like they can't hear the apples to apples he's asking for.
We've already addressed it, Don. It makes no sense. He has no actual argument for his position. He literally has no reason to think that.
Listen, can I ask you one favor though? If you could suspend all your counter arguments of assumptions that you have of why the point he's making is irrelevant, and just try to accept his challenge of saying, I think this thing is distinct. Why don't you go ahead and reproduce it? You're saying it should be easily you're assuming that they're out there. I'd love to I can't hear you while I'm talking.
Please, just let him get it out, and then obviously,
No, Veach just can't listen.
Just get it out, Don. Just gotta help Veach to stop interrupting.
Veach, dude, I don't know what's going on right now, man, but it's like it'd be much appreciated if the listening could get a lot better, bro.
Don,
point. Okay, Don.
Point.
Hold up a second. Nick just posted something, and I want to debunk it because it's completely retarded. So Feynman, what he's actually saying is that you use the null hypothesis, and as long as you cannot prove the null hypothesis is being wrong, you're actually proving your dependent variable is being true. So yes, we do prove things right in science. By not being able to provide evidence is wrong.
You changed a few words around there, didn't you, though?
No. Feynman,
he doesn't mention.
You have no idea what.
He doesn't mention variables at all in that video.
Can you give me the exact text where that's coming from? Because I bet you it has. Give me the link.
There you go. Enjoy. Learn something from it, since you're apparently doing science at university.
Yeah, I don't know why. This is like sort of science 101 that you learn right away. That the very nature of the system is such that you can disprove things, but you can't really prove them. It has to do with the way falsification works.
Yeah, well, we know you guys have a different method, standard scientific, for every scientist.
So who would have to disprove who in this case of the light rays?
I'm not really talking about that right now.
Well, I think
You're
Andrew can't
arguing
move
over
forward unless
disprove
until
it.
Veach provides a model of this image that he has posted on muscular arrays.
Well, as I've said before, I don't have a 3D package. I'm not a 3D model. I never claimed that I would make a.
Wait, you just said you're not talking about that right now.
And how can you know what you know
now,
if you haven't modeled it?
Kimo just brought it up.
I mean,
Jeez, you're
what
so
the
slow, Don.
fuck?
Don, you need to keep up. Kimo just brought it up.
Yeah, I did, but I'm saying, how can you How can you know the answer if you don't have a model?
Because of the arguments that I've already made.
What about when I brought it up and you
didn't
said
bring
we're
it up,
not
Don.
talking about it?
Don, you didn't bring it up.
No, I wasn't
I
bringing it up for
did.
talking
I said
sake. I was
which
just simply
who
saying
has
that
to prove
Andrew-
what, and
I
you
was
said
simply
we're not
saying-
talking about
You
that.
need to listen, Don. You need to pay attention.
Right, so I'm simply saying that Andrew can't move forward with his picture because he needs a model. This would have been the place to get such a model, the Globe Arena. But Andrew, is there anything else we can talk about? Look, there must be more. Obviously, it's not.
Well,
just
right now
this-
we're talking about whether or not science proves things, and he's figuring out that it doesn't actually prove things.
So you're seriously saying the science can't prove anything?
Well, you asked for citations. I gave you like 4. You saw them, right? I'm giving you another one right now. I posted the 4 citations. Well, actually, maybe I posted 3, but I just posted them. If you haven't seen them, then you should take a look before you say that you're still convinced.
What, are we going to just sit in silence until he watches it? Of
No,
course not.
no. Anyone can grab the mic.
Of course not. Yes.
Wait, where are you posting them?
I tagged your name, so if you just look for your tags, you'll find them.
I mean, don't even worry about this too much. Little
I don't have
tactic
to
from
address it right
them.
now. You can read it later.
Distracted while we exposed the Globe lie. I mean, there was so much more, like you said, those 3 questions that they have to go through. Don't be alarmed by anything that they say. Those 3 questions are questions we struggle with on a daily basis. We'll find out in due course after you.
Wait a moment, Kimo. If you're asking in which channel they're posting it, it is in the debate chat box above the voice chat. If you don't know which channel, just
Yeah,
so
he
he
knows.
knows.
He knows.
Yeah,
He's
so
already
what
posted
you,
a picture
what
in
you
here.
literally posted there is complete bullshit.
Okay.
It's like you're literally saying science cannot prove that water freezes at 0 degrees Celsius at normal pressure. It's like
I'll
you're
tell
saying
you-
science cannot do that. Of course you can, and we can
Well,
prove
I'll
lots
tell
of
you-
things.
I'll
Of
tell
course
you
you
why
can't
people-
prove that the distance between our galaxy and other galaxies is I don't know how many million miles away because you can't.
Well, I'll tell you why it is that the people say this. It's because the way in which falsification works. If you make a hypothesis, like we can use a black swan hypothesis. If you say there is no such thing as a black swan, okay, I can falsify that by showing you a black swan. Okay, success. I've disproved it, right? I've disproved.
Yeah,
the
and you've
hypothesis.
proven that there's such a thing as a black swan.
Oh, okay, now how would you prove that hypothesis true?
Dude,
It's
you just
impossible.
proved that there is a black swan.
I know. I said the hypothesis is there's no such thing as a black swan. I can falsify that by showing you a black swan. Now, how in the world would somebody prove it to be true, though? How
Why
would
do you
prove
have
it
to?
be true?
Because-
Literally,
hold
you're
on,
just
let me
playing
answer,
with
let me answer.
semantics.
Hold on, let
Andrew
Andrew answer.
Let me answer, Andrew. So, if someone says there is a black swan and you say there are no black swans, you would say to that person, prove it.
What I'm saying is the hypothesis is there's no such thing as a black swan. I can falsify that by presenting a black swan. Fine, that's easy. How do you prove that to be true, though, is the question. You can't.
By
You
showing
can't prove that to be
there are
true
black swans.
because all you can do is accumulate evidence. You can't look everywhere in the history of time. in the
Yeah,
universe.
sure. If you say there's no, I don't know, there's no such thing as a Joker character on other planets, we'll never be able to prove that.
That's right.
Sure. But we're not talking about that. We're talking about if I drop this, will it drop at whatever rate? I can prove easily
But what you
that
can't
happens.
prove is that there's not going to be an exception to that tomorrow or yesterday. What you
Dude,
can't
there are
prove,
things we can prove.
No, because you can't prove there won't be an exception tomorrow or there was an exception in the past.
So
All you can show-
scientific theories are not proven then.
That's right. That's right. They're just very.
Oh,
we're
so
just
hold
very
up.
confident in them.
Is there proof that viruses cause disease?
No, There's just a lot of really good evidence for that.
Oh, nice.
So when we have a scientific law, for example, what happens is the evidence accumulates. And by the way, this is why the citations I posted all say this to you. It's not as if I'm talking to you about something that's not common knowledge inside science. And moreover, that Feynman quote is actually a valid quote. I've heard of that lecture before. And in a second, I'm about to give you a quote from a bunch of very famous scientists, all saying the same thing, basically that the nature of science is not to prove things. This is a misconception that the public, non-scientists, lay people have gotten over the years because they think of proof in a very casual sense, but proof typically means something formal in a scientific setting. And proof means absolutely true, universally true. And that's not the case with science. Science proves that, isn't able to prove these things. Science tries to prove things and gets close and then says, okay, well, we think this thing is true, barring any changes in the world.
So that can be proven to be false, is what you're saying.
I'm saying that we accumulate evidence, and when we get enough evidence, we basically become so confident in something, it's very akin to proof. It looks like proof, but isn't technically proof.
That comes down to paradigm, because you believe that you can never know anything. That's down to you. But if we have a position where we can know things through a process, that's what we can through. So it's about how you see. If you see the world as like a simulation where it's constantly changing and you never know the outcome tomorrow, that's because of your worldview, not because of what really is, what can be tested and experimented with.
I think it's more about like the nature of the word. In the casual sense of the word prove, science proves things, and I think that's fair to say. But in the technical sense of the word,
so what does the scientific method do?
It allows you to accumulate evidence in support of a hypothesis or to disprove it.
So isn't that proof?
Well, disproving is something, but accumulating evidence in favor of a hypothesis is not quite proof, not in a technical sense at least.
So using the scientific method, you cannot know to certain things the exact cause of something and the effect of that?
You can't know it with absolute certainty, with no chance that it will ever possibly be wrong. I mean, you know how science basically works by constantly correcting itself? You know how nothing in science is sacred? Every single result we get may in the future be undone by something we learn, right? And we've done this a lot. Over and over, we have to readjust something we think is true slightly because, I mean, look at Newtonian gravity, right? We had to make adjustments to that when we got new data. And that's what they mean by that, is that if we had proved these things to be true, they would never change. We'd never have to adjust anything. We'd be done with that thing. And we're never really done with anything. We're constantly improving and making incremental changes.
Yeah, well, for example, in medicine, there's pretty much perfect evidence that chemotherapy doesn't work. What about that?
Well, pretty much perfect is exactly what I'm talking about. Exactly. That's
exactly proof. It doesn't work.
Well, I don't know if that's true or not, but let's assume the evidence supports that.
I'm like 100% sure of that.
But let's assume that. But then, how do you know that tomorrow it doesn't suddenly work for somebody?
What's keeping people's cancer down?
Let's not get into the medical information. Let's focus solely on.
Well, we're 3 points back. I want to know 1 point. Andrew, are you just conceding the corpuscular rays epiphany point to them? Like, are you totally off it?
How can you think that's a real point?
How can I concede it? No.
So, Scott, here's what I'm worried about. I'm sorry, Andrew, I asked you a question now.
No problem.
Sorry, but because he jumped it. Scott, I'm a complete idiot, okay? You think this dude is missing a point, so you think he's it. So if you're telling us, like, your little logic behind why we should get it and we're not getting it, you should understand, okay, we're asking for a little bit more or whatever.
He got it. He understood the logic.
So that's cool, but I'm saying you acting like he shouldn't even have a point. Well, he's telling you. He's telling you.
He understood the logic. See, here's what you don't. Here's what you didn't seem to catch is that I gave the logic. He understood the logic. I said, so isn't that enough? And he said no. And I said, well, then what is your argument for believing that it's not just perspective effect? And he said, well, I just want to see evidence.
Okay, look, Scott. So using optics and the things we already know, right? Such a thing could very easily be done using a distance between the sun and the earth way smaller than 93 million miles away, using the things we already know and have. If you want to say that, what I mean is using optics mathematics and what we know and what we've experienced physically in our reality that picture can very easily be
Yes.
remade using a distance of some thousands of miles between the sun and the Earth.
Right, but you're
Absolutely.
flexing now. At first, you said,
in fact,
it
hold
woke
on,
you
Don.
up.
Hold on, Don. In fact,
Okay.
it doesn't matter what the distance is from the sun. That picture could be possible because all you need for that picture is parallel lines. So you're right. It could be a very close sun.
All right. If you want to say that, provide evidence because I can easily do that and provide evidence.
I'm agreeing
it can be done
with you,
with a
though.
smaller distance. No. I can provide evidence
He's
easily,
agreeing
like
with you,
anybody
Andrew.
can do it.
Yeah, but I'm agreeing
give
with
me
you
evidence.
that
Give me evidence.
I'm agreeing with you that the distance to the sun is not. We're not given information about the distance to the sun by that picture. That's what I believe.
Right.
It doesn't tell us anything.
But Andrew, what that does is it's
It's
flexing your
about
position to appeal the possibility. Like when at first you were saying it guaranteed woke you up, and you were like, it's not possible with 93. Now you're saying it's possible. Am I not being fair though?
We've already been through that because we've already been to the part where I say, what's the reason to think it's not perspective effect? He's already admitted that it could be. The reason he thinks it isn't is because he can't find an example. But that's
Right.
it.
So let's conclude it.
There's no
Fine.
argument for it.
So could you not admit, Andrew, that now they've got you in a change of position or not?
Yeah, no, they're just playing like this is the ultimate point. Literally that we can easily prove it using small distance. And when I demand any proof, everybody's like, no, we don't have to because it's already pretty obvious. Well, if it's pretty obvious, then do it. Why not do it?
Listen, I'm backing you up on that. I think it's really weird. The middle ground's not getting hashed out.
Right. Like whenever we demand that, we're being pictures exactly what I've been given.
You know what? You know what you could do? You know what you could do? We could do is I bet you can find a picture of train tracks taken from the top down.
Yeah, there you go. Here gives it again.
What?
Same stuff. Dude,
No, but hold on. Why are you interrupting, dude? Let me finish what I'm saying before you start getting it
Well, we
wrong.
see what you're saying.
Hold on, Don. No, you don't. Because if
Yeah,
you
we
did,
see
you
what
would
you're
not
saying.
say I'm wrong.
10 minutes ago.
First of all, it's not something I said before. It's a new thing. And if you knew what I was
But
saying,
I
then you
thought
would say
it
it was
10
wrong.
minutes ago to
What
myself.
it
It's a new
is
thing.
already correct.
Wait,
If you
it's a
get a
new
picture of a train, if you get a picture of train tracks from directly above, looking
Uh-huh.
straight down, then isn't that the same situation as the light rays?
No,
Why not?
because it's not.
What?
It's simply not. Any 5-year-old could look at the two things
Why?
and say that's different. Because
Why?
it's different.
It's the plane that you want. You're looking at it from the side now instead of along the distance. That's what you wanted.
Mate, if you want to keep on saying that it can be done, just give me a 3D model. This guy
Am I
has been
right or
playing in
wrong with it?
Blender for like half an hour. Why can't
I don't
he
have
make it?
Blender. I'm not a Blender guy. It's not me.
Not
that's
you, the
gonna
other
be able to
guy.
do it.
The other guy that's sharing his
Well,
screen.
if somebody wants to make it for you, then maybe they will. I don't know. I asked somebody, and they said it'd be easy, but then I think they left. But if
See,
you're
Andrew, I
right,
just
though,
thought like
but
this,
you
like-
want look. Let's just use our brains and use our logic, though, because that's what we have. That's what's available right now, and that is that you said the difference between that GIF and your picture is that your picture was from the side and it doesn't look down the line of the waves. Okay, fine, I'll accept that. I don't think it's a significant difference, but you seem to think it is. Let's work with your model. Now, I've given you an example of something that is just what you're asking for. Not looking down the line of the ray, but looking from the side of the ray. That's the picture of a train track from straight above, looking straight down. Why is it that that's not satisfying?
Because it's not. I explained to you a million times.
You have not told me why you think that's not satisfying.
Every
It's
single
exactly what you asked
example
for.
you give, it's an analogy, actually, comparison between looking from the side and then looking straight at them.
Yes,
And then-
that's why I just said this.
Yeah,
because
and
this
in
one is
my
looking from the
picture,
side.
they diverge when you look aside.
I know.
and in
That's what I
your
just
pictures,
described.
they-
Is the
yeah,
train
and in
tracks should be
your
looking from the
picture-
side.
Yeah, they diverge only when you look along
Okay,
the
that's
ways.
why the train tracks would be a good one because it's from the side. That's the whole
Yeah.
point. Is that I'm trying to meet your requirement. If I look
I
straight
imagine-
down at train tracks, if I look straight
Dude.
down, I'm not looking along the tracks. I'm looking straight from the side, just
Are
like
you
your ray,
genuinely
right?
trolling, or you actually understand logic?
How do you not understand what I'm suggesting?
Dude, what I'm telling you is that they're exactly the opposing cases.
They
No,
could
you
be.
say, look, here's the case that you don't want. You don't want the case where you're looking down the track, right? That's what you don't want.
Yeah, that's what I want. I want to look at the side and show me they diverge.
Yes, at the side, not down the tracks, from the side, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so
Right,
down
so
the tracks
keep in
would be
mind-
like I'm looking along the rays of the track, right? That'd be like if I'm low to the ground and I look down the track, I'm looking down the rays. Okay, from the side would be if I'm a mile up in the sky and I turn my camera and I look straight down, 90 degrees straight down. Now I'm looking at those rays, the train track rays. I'm looking at the train track rays from the side, which is what you're asking for, correct?
From a big
Yes.
distance. It should be from a big distance, yeah.
Yes. So why have you been saying this entire time, like as if I'm not suggesting this?
Because
This is
when
the
you're
whole
looking
point.
at train rails from a big distance from a side, they are parallel.
They are not.
Yes, they are.
Oh,
No,
because the
only in the
things in
portion
distance
directly
were gonna
under
get-
you. If you followed them up way, way far away, they would. It's like imagine a snow cone looking directly at your face. That's the one coming straight at you through the trees. It's a fake cone, but it looks like a cone. Now, even if you were to just angle that cone, swivel it down to your perpendicular view or your side view or whatever, it could still be a cone, couldn't it? Even though it's a fake cone. That's kind of I think what they're saying here. Now, I've always understood that, but I do think it's weird that you said, "Hey, can I get a model?" and there was a little fight about it or whatever. But anyway,
Well, you have to go make the model, Don. I don't know how to make the model.
fine. But you did change your position, man. You kind of started a little bit. Because I know it can't. Not you, him, Andrew. You changed your position a little bit about like I know it can't be 93 million miles, and now we're at this point where, oh well, it could be any distance. It's a little bit of a change of position, man. And as a neutral observer, you know, I don't like that.
The real point is that he's admitted, and it's true, it's reasonable for him to admit this, that it could be perspective. He thinks that maybe that's not accounted for.
No, I said that part of it will always be perspective, but you
Okay.
cannot fully prove it using only perspective.
But you don't have a reason to think that. You never gave an
Yes, I
argument.
do, because I've
What's the
never
argument?
seen that and experienced
That's
that
not
physically.
an argument for it, though. That just shows you haven't seen it yet.
Okay, then show it me. You're
All
like
right,
saying,
relax.
well, there's a proof for it, but nobody has seen it ever in
I'm not
history.
saying that. I'm saying that your analysis
exactly
is
what you're
bad.
saying.
Your logic is bad. You said that it's not the whole thing. There has to be more to it. I say why. You say because I haven't seen it. That's not logical. Just because you haven't seen something doesn't mean it's true or not true.
Yeah, I can
This means you're not
assume that
informed.
there's no such thing as
Yes,
unicorns
that's right.
because nobody's seen them.
You made an assumption that there doesn't exist this picture. Now that's an assumption on your part. It doesn't mean proof of anything. Now it's okay that you made the assumption.
Sure,
It's
and I
fine.
will be
You can
right.
act like you made an
I
argument.
will be right until proven wrong. You have to prove me
In your
wrong.
head, you can feel that way if you'd like. It's pretty obvious to me that it can be accounted for by perspective.
What do you
In fact, there's a
mean?
clear nature of perspective.
That's how it works. Anybody can come and say 1 equals 2. You can say anything you want. You're wrong until you're proven right. That's how science works.
That's actually not how it works.
And in law, everybody's a good citizen until proven wrong, until he's proven
but
guilty.
that's
It's the
law.
way
It's
it
not the way
works.
Truth. If I say something's true, it's true whether or not I've been disproved or proven. Truth does not determine impacted by whether somebody said something or not. The truth exists independent of that.
Yeah, in science, everything is wrong until you prove it right. What's
not
so hard to
true.
understand?
This is not true.
What do you mean?
I
Things
thought
are-
everything was right until it disagrees with experiment. Then it's wrong.
Actually,
No,
we never
I-
prove anything in science.
Oh, so Professor Phil has a microphone. What a twat.
I've already. Oh, did you see those new quotes I gave you from a bunch of scientists?
Who's that charming person?
that said that we
Yeah.
don't prove things?
No, I'm just
Is
saying that Professor Phil always has broken my gang in 24/7. Apparently, he has a working mic. Interesting.
So, like for example,
Kind of low balls, to be honest. Anyway, moving on.
So, like for example, Albert Einstein, it is the aim of science to establish general rules which determine the reciprocal connection of objects and events in time and space.
Einstein is
For
a
these-
moron. I
Hold on,
don't give a fuck
hold on,
about
let me
him.
finish before you interrupt. For these rules or laws of nature, absolute general validity is required, but it's never proven. And I can go on. There's a bunch of these quotes. I just posted like 5 of them.
I don't care about Einstein. I'm sorry. You can give me anybody, but not Einstein.
The other 4: Karl Popper, Richard Feynman, Bertrand Russell. Okay, 3 more.
What did the other say?
Also,
in science, there's no knowledge in the sense that Plato and Aristotle understood the word.
The logics
In
are
the
going to
sense that
stand on
implies-
their own. Fuck what they
sense that
say.
implies the sense that implies finality. In science, we never have sufficient reasons for the belief that we have attained the truth. This view means, furthermore, that we have no proof in science. In the empirical sciences, which alone can furnish us with information about the world in which we live, proofs do not occur. If we mean by proof an argument which establishes once and for all the truth of a theory, that's
Wait, but you do realize that what you're using is a desperate thing to debunk me, which actually debunks yourself. So if you were right, you're so desperate that you're using something that tries to destroy me and also destroys you.
It has nothing to do with you. It has to do with whether or not we look. This is an independent argument. It has nothing to do with your corpuscular rays argument. This is you saying that we prove things in science, and as an aside topic, you seem to not be aware that it's common parlance. It's basically the general position of science and scientists that we don't do that. And so I'm just giving you the information so that next time this comes up, you can be like, oh yeah, I actually know what you're talking about when somebody says science doesn't prove things.
Wow, such
There's
a
nothing to
desperate move.
prove
Like,
you wrong about anything except for the fact that science proves things. It doesn't say anything about corpuscular rays to you.
sure, mate, but again, using objective evidence, anybody could easily explain that using a small distance between the sun and the earth. If you want to say the otherwise, prove it.
You can easily use perspective
way.
to explain what's on there, and I
Mate.
did.
That's quite easily if you want to listen for a minute.
We're not about
Andrew.
linguistics and how something can be explained. I want direct proof.
Andrew,
Yeah,
I've been
so
on an
you can go
airplane.
and do it yourself.
No, you can do it for me. Why don't you do it for me? Wait, how can I do it for
Why the hell
myself?
should I?
Andrew, you can
Yeah,
get in
so-
an
so
airplane
let me
and
explain
fly
something to
1,000
you that you
kilometers.
probably don't know. Let me explain something you probably don't know. With parallel rays, shadows don't change the size as you move the object backwards and forwards. If the rays are not parallel, the object will the shadow will change sizes as you move backwards and forward. That proves that the rays were parallel. Aristophanes knew that. Therefore, Earth is a sphere.
Well, I mean, I wouldn't laugh until the absolute end, but when you said therefore the Earth is a sphere, that's the biggest bullshit horseshit I've ever heard in my life. It's like,
Show me
I
why
wouldn't
it's
laugh
not.
to everything. That's not proof it's a sphere, mate. I'm sorry. I mean, I really wouldn't laugh before that, but when you said that, that was absolute horseshit.
Andrew, have you ever
Yep,
been
that's
in
your
an
excuse.
airplane? Have you ever been in an airplane in the
Yep,
daytime?
a couple of times.
Yeah. Did you race past the sun? Or did the sun
What kind
sort
of
of look like
question
it's
is that?
followed you? It's just if it's close and local and those parallel rays.
You realize that nobody wants
show
to
that
drive
it's-
towards the sun, right?
No,
Like, even
when
if
did I
the
say
sun
that you
might be
have to
93
drive
million.
towards the sun?
How do you want me to go above the sun?
I didn't say that you have to go above the sun. Whenever did I say that?
So, what was your question?
That if you get in an airplane and you fly for, let's say, 3,000 or 4,000 kilometers, the sun will not, like, if you have the sun in front of you while you're flying, it'll stay there. You don't go past it, so it's not like with you would have with those parallel or non-parallel crepuscular rays. The sun would be so close with those rays that you can't even. It just leaves you. It would just vanish in an hour.
Oh, you'd catch
Flying.
up to the sun because it's so close. I see what he's saying.
Yeah.
Yep.
With a car, I've driven with
You
a
guys
car.
realize that you just said it. The sun is close to us.
No, I didn't.
No,
say
we
it.
didn't. We
I
were
said
saying that.
it isn't.
If
Then what the fuck did you say?
That if it's close and local, like I posted a picture, the picture that I guess you posted first, and I drew two lines there. One is 90 degrees, and one is roughly 45 degrees. And
Okay,
on
yeah.
land, the end point of those lines, the distance between those it has to be less than 10 kilometers. So what you're saying is that there can be two observers that are 10 kilometers between them. That is distance
No,
of
I
10
told you
kilometers
that
between
it
them.
appears to be. So if you want to take my picture and use pure geometry, you're gonna be wrong because, as I said, perspective has a role in there. That's why you're gonna
Yes.
think the sun is like 10 miles away when it's not. I said that you cannot measure the exact distance without accounting for perspective. What I also said is you cannot prove this using only perspective and a distance between the sun and the earth of 93 million miles.
So what was the point of your picture then?
Yeah.
The point of my picture was to ask and demand any 3D model of a 93 million miles away sun and from the earth that looks like that.
Well, raise and perspective, yeah.
Yeah, thank you for giving me some words through some microphone and I can hear them in my headphones. I want a goddamn 3D model.
If we
Can I ask a quick question? Andrew, do you accept the fact that we observe rays from the sun being parallel? Let's start there.
Yeah, we can see that too. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's fine. So you accept that because there are things that Professor Phil's going for that this entails certain things. If the rays of the sun are parallel,
Some of them
exactly.
I know where you're going,
The
mate.
parallel rays prove that the Earth is a sphere based on Aristophanes' experiment
Oh
with the
my
sticks.
god. Oh,
Could
it's an
not-
experiment.
could
So
not
now,
be-
Aristophanes did an
could not be-
experiment. Whoa.
It could
What's
not
the experiment, Phil?
Dude,
What's the
stop interrupting,
experiment?
Andrew.
No,
Stop
he said it's
interrupting.
an experiment. What's the
I know,
experiment?
but
What's the
let's-
dependent and
let's-
independent variable?
Jump in like this. It's crazy, man.
That's
See,
a
I thought the
colloquial
light
term.
was diverging.
You can
through the
use
clouds.
observation if you like. It won't change anything. The Earth is a sphere, provably.
I love this guy. He's amazing. It's so funny.
It's not funny. You're stupid.
Can I make a demand,
You're
Andrew?
laughing at this, Andrew, but you're not actually coming back with any form of rebuttal apart from
really said
ha ha
anything
ha ha. That's not
He's got
actually a
nothing.
substantive objection. What you should say is, I disagree with Aristophanes, and certainly if Aristophanes is done in 3 or 4 places.
Aristophanes did no experiment, and he proved nothing.
May I just finish my point, Andrew?
I know what you're about to say.
If you've got Aristophanes that's been taken at, if you've done that observation at 3 or 4 different points on Earth that are reasonably distant, it absolutely means the Earth has to be a sphere for that observation to work.
Yeah, if
Now,
you
what's
assume
your
that
objection?
it has, sure, it has to be. It absolutely has to be a sphere. If the distance between the sun and the Earth is presumed to be infinite.
No.
What do you mean?
No.
What do you mean?
Rays are parallel. That's
All it
enough.
requires is what we've just agreed on, which that the sun rays are parallel. That's all it requires.
No, what I said is that you can observe some parallel rays. You can, sure.
You agree
All the
that
rays
sun
are
rays were parallel.
Dude, I just showed you a picture where they're not.
You know that's corpuscular rays. That's an optical illusion.
Okay,
Well,
so
we
how
don't
do you
know.
know not everything is an optical illusion? Smartass?
Because he used the example of the shadow, and the exhibition of that would be if the rays weren't parallel, then the object will get smaller as it gets closer and larger as it moves away.
Mate,
That's not what we observe. So he's got his confirmation point that he's used, and if we hold that the rays from the sun are parallel, and we make a 3-point Aristophanes observation with good distances between the observation points, we can categorically say the Earth is definitely not flat and it has curvature.
are you guys
100%.
genuinely using Aristophanes? I mean, that's the weakest point. I really don't want to
No,
spend
it's
time
not.
debunking
It's the
this
strongest
horseshit.
point.
Oh, it's the strongest. Okay, so let's debunk this horseshit. So to begin with, if you want to presume that the distance, okay, I'll do it this way. Proof that the distance between the sun and the Earth is 93 million miles.
Doesn't matter. All it matters
We don't
is
have
that
to.
the
It's
sun
just
rays are
parallel.
Okay,
parallel.
we began very well. It's like I asked for proof, and they're like, doesn't matter. Cool, then
Oh, it
debate
doesn't.
is
The
done.
distance is irrelevant.
Yep,
Yeah.
debate is done. Over. You're finished.
No, it's not, because
You're finished.
all we need,
Yep,
all we
you're
need,
finished.
Andrew,
All we need
and
is
you
to
agreed.
be parallel. That's all.
Yeah,
Exactly.
need.
That's what you need. So prove it to me.
I don't think there's a rule in debating.
I told
where
you how to
you
prove
get
it.
to arbitrarily
All the shadows
decide
back-
what the proof
The
must be.
shadows don't change
I don't think
size.
that's a
That
thing.
proves it.
Is this some
Andrew,
kind of
this
a
is
joke?
like me saying, prove to me that there's a bottom to the ocean, or flat Earth is done.
Yep, sure. I can prove that there's a bottom to an ocean. I can go there. I
Oh,
can give you
please do.
pictures. I can do a 3D model. I can't do it physically. I don't have that much money, but there's people that have done it.
Yeah, so you can't.
What
There's
do you,
people that have
dude?
done
Are
it.
you
Yes,
genuinely
yes,
a
there's
troll or
people that have
something?
done it. There's
Are you,
people that have done it.
genuinely
Yes.
a troll? We know for a fact there's an end of the ocean. We know, for example, in
And
the
we know that
Black
there's
Sea,
space and the
there
Earth
is
is a globe. Yeah,
Can,
we know
can
these
I,
things.
I have a
We
We
demand.
know there's an end to the
for-
atmosphere.
Hey, I want to make a demand, Andrew. Can you provide 3D model of close sun to flat Earth that
Yep.
ever sets, ever go below eye level?
Yeah, that would be good.
Oh,
That would
so
be
now,
amazing.
That should be easy.
see,
It should be easy.
you see what
Demand
you
that
see
model.
what you guys are doing. So when
No,
I'm
what
demanding
I'm
the
doing,
proof
I'm
for
doing
you,
a demand. I demand like you.
yeah, exactly. See, so now when you're using it against me, everybody's like, yeah, the demand is good, but when I do it for you, it's like, nope, we don't have to follow demand.
We
you see
can
what
reverse
you're
it.
doing?
We can reverse it. We can reverse it. We will produce a flat Earth model that the sun never sets on, and
Yeah,
you
if
will
we don't use
provide
any atmosphere.
and you will provide parallel rays that do not look like that picture.
And
Either
we can
way,
provide you a
whichever way you want.
we can
Right.
provide you a model of a globe where the sun would set.
Thank you. It was great.
I think the problem is, Andrew, I mean, I could understand you have objections to what's being said. Fine. I'm just not really hearing reasons for your objections.
Mate,
So,
we
I mean,
began with me
So I
demanding.
just want to finish the point, and this is one thing that points to the shape and the size of the Earth, and yet we have multiple different methods all coming up with pretty much the same answer. What's your thought on that? The congruency argument.
What the fuck? That's like saying if I am against 10 people and they're all saying the same thing, that means that they're the ones that are right.
No, I'm not saying that at all. I'm saying that, if I use an Al-Biruni, if I use an Aristophanes, if we use geodetic surveying, if we use LiDAR, if we use satellite imagery and measurements, they're all coming up with pretty much the same answer. So that's different. So that's testing in different ways to see if we're heading towards the right answer. And all of those ways seem to be pointing at the same answer. What's your view on that?
Oh god, I'm really not gonna debate that because that's a complete logical fallacy. Like it has nothing to do with.
What fallacy have I committed?
Dude, it has nothing to do with proving things, because some things tend to seem as if they're proving something. It doesn't mean that what they tend to seem to prove is actually proven.
What's your definition of proving something? Beyond a reasonable doubt, or it's absolutely right?
Mate, for example, Aristophanes' observation begins with a presupposition.
No, it doesn't. I told you it didn't.
Yeah, well then.
I told you what he
okay,
did
if it's not a presupposition,
that he was right.
Yeah, then prove me that the distance between the sun and the Earth is 93 million miles.
You don't have to prove it.
You have to.
No, you don't have to even show that. All Eratosthenes had to do was prove that the rays were parallel, and he did that.
How? Show. Okay, prove me that.
Oh, no problems. So what he did was he took he observed the shadows moving an object back and forwards through shadows, and noticed that they didn't change size. When there's a light source that's
when
close,
the sun is above it.
When there's a light source that's close, then the shadows will always change size. When there's parallel rays, shadows will not change side. They didn't change side. Proof the rays are parallel. Parallel rays proves. So before he even did the experiment, he already knew that the rays are parallel. The parallel rays prove the Earth is a sphere.
Can you explain step by step what you just said?
Go out in the sun with an object. Measure, have a look at the shadow that you have on the ground or wherever you have it. Move that object further away. The shadow will
what
not
do you mean
change
further
in
away?
size.
In which distance?
The reason it doesn't change in size is because the rays of the sun
Is
are
this
parallel.
guy playing dumb? In which distance, my dude? Which
Any
way?
distance.
The fuck?
Any distance in which you can see the shadow, it will not change size.
Okay, so I take an object, I put it in the sunlight, I measure its shadow.
Yep.
Okay, first
And
step I
then
got
move it backwards.
What's
Or move
backwards?
it forwards.
What's that?
Move it towards the ground
Really?
or move it away from the ground.
Okay.
Observe the shadow will stay the same size.
It doesn't. Lol. The fuck? Are you crazy?
Actually, it does.
It does
that's
change.
a really cool thing.
What, dude? Oh, professor, is this guy an actual professor? Because he's pretty dumb for a professor. So if you change
Now
the
go
distance,
out. Now do that with a local light and see if the shadows.
no,
won't
you just
change
said something.
size.
You just said something. You said that if I bring an object closer to the point of source of light,
No,
it
that's not
doesn't
what he
change
said.
the shadow.
That's not what he said.
That's exactly what he said.
I mean, so he's talking
He
about like.
said, listen, he said that if you bring it closer to the ground, the size of the
is that
shadow won't
close to
change.
the? Is that
That's an
closer
exact
further away
quote.
from the
That's
source of
exactly
light?
what he
Is
said.
that
That's exactly what
necessarily
he said.
closer to the source of light?
He said that if you bring the object closer to the ground, it will
Okay,
not
is that-
change its
All
shadow.
you do, change
that
this,
source of light?
change where the object is. Just change where the object is, and you'll see if the shadow changes size or not. Do it.
They fucking do, mate. If I bring
Andrew,
it closer
they
to the
don't.
source of, this
Is
guy's
the
Go
sky
and
the
do it.
source of
Then
light?
say, go and do it.
is okay. I'm not
Is
gonna
the
talk
sky
to
the
him.
source of light? Because that's what you seem to be saying.
I'm saying the sun is the source
Okay.
of light.
Is that necessarily up or
Use
down?
the sun as a source of light. Use, use a local light, and you'll see that where the rays are not parallel.
Phil, I'm not
you'll see
gonna
that
talk to you,
the rays
mate.
will change.
Mate, I'm not gonna talk to you. You're full of shit.
Go and do it, and then say that.
Yeah, I'll ignore him. So who was talking?
The other guy with the same name as you.
That's Andy. Oh, Andrew. Yes, Andy and.
Oh, okay, cool. So what was I asked?
I said, is moving something
You will
up
never forget what I told you.
Phil,
tonight.
stop
You will
talking.
never
I'm
forget
not
it.
listening to you.
Doesn't matter whether you like it or not. You will
Oh
not
my
forget
God.
it. Every time you think about your bullshit flat Earth, you will think about
Yeah,
this
I'm
day.
gonna think that if I move an object,
You will
it's not
think
gonna
this
change its
day.
size.
You will remember this day forever.
Yeah, I will remember that I've been told that I cannot change the size of the shadow of an object by changing the distance between the object and the source of light.
That's not
That's
what he said.
That's exactly. Is this the
not-
recording?
We'll watch you go and give it a
I'm
go.
recording it, Andrew. He said it. Don't worry.
Yeah, thank you.
He said
Thank you.
move
I thought he was
up or
talking about the
down.
sun.
He didn't
That's
say
exactly
closer to
what
the
he
sun.
said. That's exactly what he said, mate.
He said up or down. He didn't say closer to the sun.
Are you fucking kidding me? So now up and down means front and back?
As long as you can see the shadow, it will not change
This is a
size.
joke. So this guy Andy is right now saying that up and down means front
Andrew,
and back. Or something.
he
No,
said
no.
further away.
No.
Where did you get the
Stop
up and down from?
strawmanning me. Stop
This is
strawmanning
the-
my position.
No, I'm
No.
strawmanning
As soon as
because
I
I'm
get a
pointing at a
chance, I'll
jerk.
do a
Fuck.
video,
the
mate,
words that
and then
came
I'll
out of
show
my
you.
mouth. Yes, that's called a straw man.
This is really a retard show. Jesus.
I mean, you're
Oh.
here, so obviously.
Yeah. Any actual glober that with which I can genuinely debate?
The thing is,
Yeah, that can genuinely debate.
we
so.
have conversations here. We don't. It doesn't need to be a debate or like a formal debate. Just have a fucking conversation. You don't
so
have
you're
to.
telling me what we've been having now, what Phil has been having with me, was a conversation?
Yes,
it was.
yes. I'm not shouting at you or anything. Just a
Oh,
conversation.
so the only definition of conversation is don't shout.
Well, you know, you can. Don't,
This
you don't
is
have to be
what
rude
you
either.
said.
No,
There's no one here to have a discussion with or debate with.
The fact that you guys define a conversation by being kind of nice,
Andrew,
not
no,
shouting.
stop strawmanning every single time we talk. Every time we make a point
There you
doesn't mean that that's the only thing that applies
right.
to that situation, Andrew.
Then what else
You
applies?
literally can't.
Okay, then give me the
Conversations.
definition of what a
Anytime,
conversation is.
anytime two or more people are talking, that's a conversation. Doesn't need to be
That's
a
a
debate.
conversation. Oh, so if I meet with a Chinese person and we don't understand jack shit of what we're saying, is that a conversation?
It might not be a
Okay,
useful
do you
one,
want
but
me
it's still
to
a conversation.
be more specific and use the word communicating? Effectively
Okay.
communicating?
Andrew, just
let's
quickly,
say
quickly,
Because
Andrew,
apparently you don't know how to have a conversation because you don't know how to
Yeah,
have
well, let's be
effective
more specific. So
communication.
now I'm
You
talking.
apparently don't understand the English language enough to
Oh,
Yeah,
let's not
man.
be funny
discern
now. Let's
whether
not
or
be
not
funny.
something's a
Let's-
Andrew,
conversation.
this link here in the chat is where your video will be uploaded to Are You Smarter Than a Flat Earther? So subscribe to that, and then you'll be able
Sure,
to
I
see
will.
when your time is ready. Sorry, Andy.
All right.
go ahead.
Andy, do you want to talk about gas pressure without a container?
I don't care.
So do you think space is fake?
No, because I'm not an idiot.
Oh, okay.
He's not an idiot.
That's
I think so. Not Andy.
that's very good. Go and tell QE he's an idiot because he does.
Oh, I've done that before. He didn't like it.
No, he didn't because his IQ is like probably 10 times bigger than yours. Like genuinely.
What is 10 times bigger than mine?
His IQ.
That's because he took the IQ test 10 times and added the result.
Yeah, I guess he took it 10 times because
Did you
the
say
guys that-
IQ or AQ? I thought you said AQ.
No, IQ.
IQ or EQ, he has neither.
Andrew,
Well,
can
that's
we
a
play the
logical
same
fallacy.
thing back at you?
He's after-
There's no moderator
true
for
statement.
debate here.
It's impossible to
So your
have zero
definition
IQ and
of,
zero EQ.
debate
It's
is wrong.
physically impossible.
That's not even what I said, you fucktard.
Oh, so now this is an at home. There you go. So two logical fallacies.
No, you idiot! It was an
Three logical
insult.
fallacies.
No, it's an insult. Get it right.
And
What's
Andrew,
the difference
something
between
it
an
can only
insult
be
and
an
an
ad
ad hom,
hom.
Andrew?
Something can only be an
That
ad
would
hom.
be a really interesting thing. 1 second. What's the difference between me insulting you and me doing an ad hom on you?
Yeah,
You
so
expand on that.
if you're insulting me, let's say you just say hello fucktard on the street, there's no conversation, there's no debate, nothing. That's an insult. If we're debating something and you're saying I'm wrong because I'm an idiot, that's an ad hom.
Are we
That's
having
not what I
No one
said.
said that.
I just said you were a
Andrew?
fucking idiot.
Yeah, because you're
I wasn't
was
using
Rocket having
using
a
that.
debate with you, Andrew?
I wasn't using that to make a point, except that you're an idiot.
Andrew, let's continue debunking the globe. I mean, you've never been in a place where so many people believe in one thing with no evidence. But we'll try and get you some of that evidence today.
Imagine joining a club. Imagine
He sounds like the
joining
Walter
a club
Cronkite.
where
You know,
everybody
hosting a
believes in
show.
unicorns, and it's like 1,000 people believing in unicorns, and you're like, "Oh fuck, mate, where did you see the unicorn?" And they're like,
Right.
"It exists. There's the picture."
What do you think about gravity?
Well, so we observe for a fact that things go down. That's about it.
Is there a downward bias?
Things also go
We have
vertically
never
in the cavendish,
experienced things
so.
going down in absolute pure vacuum. So
Yes, we
there's
have.
no.
Oh, that's because an absolute pure vacuum doesn't exist.
There you
That
go.
is
Thank
not
you.
a
Anywhere.
thing that exists.
Yep. So that's why you
That
can't really
doesn't
prove
mean that
gravity exists.
gravity's not real, dude.
Okay, then
Are you
prove
kidding
me.
this guy's off his nut?
Wait, I'll give you
I
proof.
think also there's an important bit you missed off there, Andrew. It's not that we observe that things go down; we observe that things accelerate. That's the important bit.
Exactly.
All right. So what?
Yeah, it's the acceleration
Yeah,
that's
so
the
what?
problem.
And we
Okay,
also
well,
have.
if you want to prove gravity exists, you got to prove it.
Oh, we've shown we have an
Yeah,
experiment.
every time you drop something, it
You have an
accelerates. That's the bit
experiment.
We have an
there.
experiment that shows that
What's the
Mass and
dependent and
acceleration.
independent variables? Should.
the
What the hell's that got to do with it? Just drop something and it'll accelerate.
So there you
Explain
go.
that.
the
Well,
distance between two masses and the mass of the two masses.
Oh, so the dependent variable and the independent variable are the exact same thing.
No. You can have more than one independent variable. That's allowed.
Say that again, Andy, one more time, sorry.
You can have more than one independent variable in an experiment.
Okay, carry on, Andrew. Clear that up.
Yeah, well, I'm really not gonna further that. It's I'm tired of it.
You can't.
So he
Yeah,
must
no.
not have
So
heard. He must. Andrew, you must not
what
have
you're
heard of
saying is
multivariable
the
calculus.
It's a cute way of
Well,
saying
what
it,
happens
but-
next,
variable-
Andrew, is that we
the
ask
dependent-
Andy, what does he mean by two dependent variables? What do you mean,
Are you,
Andy?
asking, are you asking me that, Chemo?
I'm asking, what do you mean by... Can you give me an example of an experiment that has two independent
I
variables?
just explained it. I just described an experiment that can have more than
No, I was
one
more in shock at the
independent
two
variable.
independent variables, but what was the experiment?
The one that Blue Marble Science did. That's
So what were the two causes of the movement?
the magnitude of the masses that he was using and the distance between them.
So if we eliminate the distance, then you're saying it won't move. No attraction.
If there is, how do you eliminate the distance, Chemo?
That's your independent variable, the ones you're supposed to manipulate.
That's impossible. Well, no, the force of attraction between the two masses is your dependent variable.
Carry on, Andrew. Now we're back on track. So we now has one variable, not two.
No.
He said dependent. Did you not listen to him?
Independent variable. Your cause to the effect, Professor.
This is amazing. It's like, so I want to ask this: is it that gravity's mass attracts mass?
Of course.
Oh, so you're debunked 100 years ago. Okay, anybody not believe
no,
that?
that's all stupid.
No,
that's your flat Earth rhetoric. That's nonsense.
Dude, that's not fair.
Because
That's
space-time
mainstream science. Like
causes
literally,
mass to attract
mainstream
mass.
science says that gravity is
doesn't
not a
debunk
force.
it. It doesn't debunk it.
Space-time
Mate.
causes mass to attract mass.
The scientists
Andrew,
that you
Andrew.
believe in say that gravity is not
Andrew,
a force.
give us a
It's not
citation
me,
of mass
it's
not
even your
attracting
people.
mass
No one
anymore.
said it was.
Guys,
But the
guys,
mass-
can we talk one at a time, please?
Sorry.
Yeah, so your
It's
mainstream
impossible.
scientists are right now saying that mass does not attract mass. And that gravity is not a force. That is literally debunked.
Rubbish.
That is not what they say.
It's
It's
amazing that
absolutely not
Globers
what
don't
it is.
even know what their own scientists are saying.
Andrew,
yes, we
which,
do.
which type of gravity are you talking about? Are you talking about general relativity gravity, or are you talking about Newtonian gravity?
Oh, so now it's like two kinds of
Oh
gravities.
no!
Amazing.
So they both describe the same phenomenon.
Exactly.
Which makes them both right?
They are both right.
Yeah, they're both the
Right.
same, so they're both
Okay,
right.
so I'll describe how I wake up. One explanation is my body functions, and another explanation is I'm a robot and there's a small midget inside my brain. They both describe the same thing, therefore they're both right.
What's
Are you
your
nuts?
evidence for that?
Well, that's a good question. There you go. What's my evidence? None.
Well, plenty of evidence that mass attracts mass.
Really? Show me one.
Yeah. Well, Blue just did his made his modern day Cavendish apparatus that does that exactly that.
Oh, I thought you were about to say Cavendish experiment, but can you show me where mass attracts mass in a helium balloon?
Well, helium balloon.
I love it when anybody asks about heliums. There's a 5-second.
Andrew, so I actually have an answer that works for this. So, do you know how buoyancy works?
Yep.
Okay. Can you explain to me the mechanism behind how buoyancy works, please?
What we know is that the things that are denser go down. The exact reason why that happens, we don't know.
That's not how buoyancy works.
He just failed first year physics. Good job.
When you ask a question that's that broken, Andrew, show me mass attracting mass in a helium balloon. When you ask a question that's that broken, nobody knows how to respond to it.
Where is gravity? Where is gravity in a helium balloon?
Okay, so Andrew, to have buoyancy, you need a pressure gradient. Do you know what a pressure gradient is?
We have a pressure gradient everywhere around
so
Earth.
if there's a pressure gradient, then there is a buoyant force. That's how helium balloons work. That's why they go up, because there's a buoyant force because of the pressure
I didn't
gradient.
ask that. I know that that's what's happening. I asked you where's gravity in a helium balloon.
That question is nonsensical, Andrew.
What the
question is broken?
Oh, so when you can't explain gravity in
No, it's not. It's a nonsensical question. It doesn't mean anything.
Really?
Ask a question that makes sense, then I'll answer it.
It makes sense, man. You're saying gravity is everywhere. Where is gravity in
the mass of the particles?
Are you talking about the what are you talking about? The envelope of the balloon, the helium that's in the balloon. What are you fucking talking about?
About all of them. Just explain the whole thing. Where is gravity in a helium balloon?
That question doesn't make any
Christ.
sense. It's a broken question.
What exactly do you mean?
Exactly what I mean. That's exactly what I mean.
No,
if I
it
ask you,
doesn't-
okay,
Andrew,
I'll
your question doesn't
I'll give you
mean
this. Where is
anything.
gravity in my phone?
Where is
dropping
gravity
down?
is a nonsensical question, Andrew.
Okay. How does gravity affect my phone when it drops down?
It accelerates it towards the ground because of
All
the
right. How
curvature of
does gravity
space-time.
affect the helium balloon?
It causes
accelerates
the
it down.
pressure gradient, which is greater. The buoyant force is greater than the gravitational force, so it pushes the balloon upwards.
So what you said is that gravity affects
makes
the
other stuff go
pressure
down.
gradient. Hold up. He just said that gravity affects the pressure gradient.
Yeah. Without gravity, there won't be a pressure gradient, a vertical pressure gradient. You need if you want balloons
You
to
realize
go up,
we
you need
have
a
pressure
vertical
gradients in all directions, right?
Say again?
We have a pressure gradient in all fucking directions.
Right, but there's a very, very
Right,
strong one.
right.
No, I'm not done talking, Andrew. There is a pressure gradient that is proportional to the density of air and the height and the gravitational acceleration in the vertical direction.
Correct. I don't have much more energy left.
If you have a horizontal pressure gradient, that causes wind. The vertical pressure gradient doesn't seem to cause wind, does it?
No, what seems to cause this wind is the difference in temperature and density
No,
of the air.
it's a pressure gradient. The only thing that causes fluids to move is a pressure gradient.
Yeah, dude. You just proven how things work. Thank you. No need for gravity. There you go.
All right. Before you run away, Andrew.
Would you do me a favor and use the gas laws and show me how temperature can cause the pressure gradient that we measure? Can
What?
you do that?
I said that winds are caused by different temperatures in the atmosphere. The fuck is wrong
Tell
with
me
that?
why about 99.9% of Earth's atmosphere is below 30 kilometers. Why is that?
Jesus.
Yeah, don't
Or
ask Jesus.
dynamic
He
system.
won't help you.
I'm not gonna get into religion.
You're
but,
getting wrecked, buddy. Just saying. And you're
Yeah,
laughing. You're laughing because you're so stupid, you don't even realize you're getting wrecked. You think you're smarter than some of the people you're talking to, and they're giving you the time of the day.
He's a
So you think-
physicist. He's a studying physicist. That's why he knows
And
more than you
Professor-
sheeple.
And Professor Phil's a professor in physics.
No, obviously not.
he's a hold up. He's a professor in physics.
Right.
Yes.
You want me to ask you any kind of formula in electronics or thermodynamics? Are you willing to do this?
Well, no, I'm not going to answer your question.
Mate, I'm like 20 years old. Like, I guess you can handle the stuff I know. I just want to show you how much I actually know of physics. You want to take it?
Yeah, let's
You
do
wanna
it.
play?
If you know physics, you just explain to me how the
No,
pressure
buddy.
gradient-
My question.
how the
No.
pressure gradient works.
No. He said he's a professor. You should know this formula.
Andrew,
I'm gonna
why
have
do
to
you
take
keep
the
dancing
things.
along your shit all the time?
That. I just want to know. I just want to know how the pressure gradient works.
Yeah.
Mr. 20-year-old.
You want me to ask you some mathematics, some calculus?
He asked you a question 3 times. Can you answer the question?
You don't have to ask stupid questions to me. Just explain
That's
to
not
me
a
how the
stupid
pressure
question.
gradient
That's
works.
what a professor should know very easily.
No. This is about flat Earth.
Look,
Yeah, somebody
Professor.
said that I'm stupid and I don't know physics. I just want to prove everybody that probably I know more than
I haven't
99%
said you didn't know
people.
physics.
No, sheeple, you were
I
questioning
did call him. I called you a fucking idiot. Let's get that clear.
Right.
I called him
me a fucking
stupid.
idiot.
I called him
people
stupid,
call him
and he
stupid, that's right.
Yeah, I called him stupid, and I told him he couldn't see how stupid he was because he's laughing.
Yeah,
right?
he's a higher
You're
level
getting
than
wrecked
you,
on
sheeple.
You're getting wrecked on every point, and you don't even understand how the friggin' helium balloon is pushed up because the pressure gradient is pushing underneath it and creating a layer for it to ride on. That's why when you put that same helium balloon in a vacuum chamber and there's no pressure gradient equivalent, the helium balloon drops straight to the floor. That's gravity.
You
The
know,
force the force on the outside of the balloon is forming the shape of the balloon under the force of gravity until it rises to the higher level, whether it expands because it's no longer an outside force of pressure pushing down upon it, and it explodes.
The balloon with helium has a higher density than the vacuum in which it is. Therefore, it's going down. I can easily explain what you said without using gravity.
Find density for us, please.
Wait. I
Density is defined as mass
I
divided by the
Density
volume.
is
it
falling at
occupies.
the same rate
Enough of the silly questions, Chai.
in a vacuum.
Okay, he's got a
why
quiz.
vacuum? We don't need vacuum. You put the balloon in the box
One more, man.
and let the box drop it down. What happens? Does the balloon rise up?
Yes, it will stay next to it.
No.
What the
It will
fuck do you
fall
mean,
at
bro?
the same rate as everything in the box.
In a vacuum?
No vacuum. I don't need vacuum.
Then if it's not in a vacuum, it will touch the ceiling. You fucking kidding
No,
me?
it won't.
Okay, this guy's stupid.
No.
I'm sorry, but everybody
you
disagrees.
can
like,
easily
no.
prove me wrong.
Okay,
You can
I'll
prove me
actually
wrong.
go and record right now and prove to you how fucking dumb you are. But I just need helium. Okay.
Oh, he's wrong.
You're an idiot, man. Literally, I can debunk you using the force of inertia. So the force of
So
inertia has.
when the aeroplane dives and the people, when the aeroplane
There is
dives,
no
how come the
force
people
of
don't get
inertia.
slammed to the back of the plane?
That's something else.
Oh yeah,
His
something else.
example with the box dropping down. It's something else.
So
Can you tell
Literally,
me the
do this.
equation
Do
for the
this.
force of
Do you
inertia,
fly in the
please?
air when the lift goes down?
Take a bottle, put some water in it, and drop it. Record it and see where the water is going. The same thing as he's saying. It's actually even nicer than what he's saying because he's using helium, which has a smaller density than the box. So whatever's gonna happen to that water in the bottle that's being dropped is gonna be far worse with helium. But
Okay,
anyway.
so just let me ask you this. You obviously know what kinetic energy is, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so the gas particles that are going up eventually run out of kinetic energy. and that kinetic energy changes to gravitational potential energy. Is that something you understand?
Yep.
That's why the gas particles don't go past 30 kilometers. Very few of them do. Is that understood?
Mate, that's an observation we've made, and we came up with an explanation.
Yeah, that's the explanation. The explanation is that eventually they run out of kinetic energy.
That's something that we use as formulas.
Energy. How hard is that?
Jesus Christ.
Now, if I throw a ball at 20 meters per second into the air,
yeah.
Why is it that I can predict exactly how long it'll stay up in the air and how far it'll go?
Because we've made some measurements and experiments, and we figured out more or less what it can do. That's why we still use Newtonian physics, even though we know they're wrong. We still use them because we can use them.
They're not wrong.
Really not.
Yeah, they're not wrong because they were. Who said they're wrong?
Listening to QE
Was that
too much,
QE
buddy.
again?
He's studying the current science, Professor. You have the old science. This is someone who's current.
It's not even
up to date.
They're the same, Chemo. Stop being silly.
But he's up to date on the science, right?
It. You can just Google. Veritasium made a video explaining to you why gravity is not a force. Even the dumbest mainstream guy saying it's a sphere tells you that. I mean,
I'm telling you that.
Understand.
Who said that gravity itself was a force?
The fuck? Newton?
We're saying that gravity is the mass.
Hold up. Newton said gravity is a force. You fucking
needs
kidding
to
me?
have the mass in it to be a force. F
Andrew,
equals mg.
Newton didn't propose a mechanism behind how gravity works.
Yeah, dude. And gravity equals m times small g. That's g big equals m times g small.
He didn't say whether it's a.
Yeah, no.
So the
According
g
to
is
the
an
formula,
acceleration, right?
Yeah,
That's
according
gravity.
to his formula, gravity
That's
is
the
a
size
force.
of the gravitational
Period.
field. 9.8 meters per second squared on the Earth.
Thank you. I didn't know that. It's not as if 5 years ago I was using that every day using Olympics and physics. Thank you. I really didn't know that.
Right, good. Then what the hell are you on about that gravity doesn't exist?
Because there's no proof, mate.
What are you talking about? There's no proof. Every time you just told me that you spent 5 years ago, you've been working on it, and now there's no proof. What were you doing 5 years ago?
Yeah,
Wasting
mate,
your time?
I use them, and I use those things to do things.
Where do you think that came from? Where do you
Observations
think
and create. You made an observation. That's it.
No, do you know how is it that I
Jesus
can make?
Christ.
How is it that I can use Einstein's?
You know Galileo's
equation?
formula.
Listen.
V squared equals V0 squared plus 2 AD. Sorry.
How
You know
is
that
it?
one?
How is it? I can use
Yeah,
Einstein's
the
field
formula I
equation
just told you is right
to
because
derive
we
G as
know
well.
it's right. It happens. We don't know why it's right. We just know it happens. It's that simple.
So tell me what's the difference between even if I didn't know why it happens, how can you say it's not there just because I don't know why it happens?
The fuck? Your explanation for why it's happening is something you've never
I'm
proven to
saying that
exist in the first
there's
place.
a gravitational field, there's a gravitational acceleration is the reason why the gas particles only get to 30 kilometers. It's because of that gravitational acceleration. That doesn't mean I need to know what causes the gravitational acceleration. I'm telling you that the reason why the gas particles only get to 30 kilometers is because of the gravitational acceleration. What do you say to that?
I'm honest. If anybody want to take it from here.
I did say it was going to be like this. Welcome to Debate Flat Earth and More, where the globe earthers are so dogmatic, in my view, and they're very, very skeptical when it comes to flat Earth. Yeah, Andrew?
Yeah, you know, Kimo, the reason why it's so hard is because we're so few of us and we have to burn many more calories than they do.
What's your take on reality then, Andrew? How do you explain what we live on and what we see?
Where does
your explanations fall short?
Yeah, so I know it measures flat. I have no idea what it actually looks like. Flat is an adjective. It represents what something looks like, not a model, not what it's actually made of and how it actually looks like. It's just an adjective. I know there has to be a container because of the second law, and that's about it.
What's the second law got to do with it? We're still on about that.
My fuck.
So, Andrew, I've got a very simple question to ask. So now that you agree now that you agree that there is a pressure gradient, actually, I'll just give you some
Who
numbers.
doesn't agree there's a pressure? What the?
Okay, good. So, Andrew, just listen. It's 14.7. I've just changed it because I normally would work in pascals. There's 14.7 pounds per square inch at the
Yeah, we
at the
can
ground.
just use 1 atmosphere, 10 to the power of
Right.
5 newtons per
Okay.
meter square.
Yeah,
That's fine.
and then 0.00004
It doesn't matter. Just get over it. Yeah, whatever.
So 1.45 by 10 to the minus 4
Yeah.
pounds per square inch at 100 kilometers. All right. So
Nice.
that's the
Cool.
difference, if you like, between 0 and 100 kilometers. Why is the second law of thermodynamics asleep? Why doesn't it force all of the gas that's on the ground to go up there?
For the same reason that oil stays above water. The fuck?
What is that? What kind of answer is that?
It's exactly the exact answer you
No,
needed.
it's not. I want to know.
So you're saying the atmosphere on the ground is different to the atmosphere up there?
The heavier
Like oil,
air,
water's
air
different.
is made out of different elements. The heavier air is at the bottom.
It's not doing
It's that simple.
Can you prove it?
No, it's not.
That is bullshit.
So now heavier
That is
stuff.
absolute pure bullshit, Andrew.
Okay, can anybody?
Why
The
isn't the law of
The atmosphere at
thermodynamics
sea level is
forcing the gas
identical to the atmosphere at 40,000 feet, but the pressure is radically
that's the
different.
biggest
Please fucking
bullshit I've heard in
explain
my
it.
life.
No,
You
it's
are
not.
an idiot if you think
The
otherwise.
air is pretty homogeneous up to 30 kilometers.
Wait, Andrew, why is the pressure at my feet is higher than my head? And don't tell me the air is different, because if I turn on the fan to mix the air, it stays the same.
Yeah, have you ever actually opened your window and there's cold air coming from outside, hot air in your room? And if you stay next to the window after like 10 minutes after you've opened the window, you will feel very cold air at your feet, but not that cold air at the top of your
I'm
head.
talking
Have you
about
ever
pressure,
experienced that?
Andrew. Pressure
Sorry?
doesn't matter.
Yeah, no, I just explained
Hot
to
air
you.
comes in. If the air is colder, doesn't matter. The pressure at my feet is higher than at my head when I'm sitting even. So
Wait,
why is
there's
that?
countless explanations for why the air here has a
Just
bigger...
one will do.
I told you on pressure, density, the ones that are heavier, the ones that
I
have
told you,
higher
fan
density
is
just
They're
on,
go
not.
down.
Otherwise,
is
we'd
on.
be breathing carbon dioxide.
I'm mixing the air
What?
constantly. What's happening?
Wait, what about carbon dioxide?
Carbon dioxide is 44 grams per mole. Air is only
16.
29 grams per mole. If you were right and this had to do with density, then the carbon dioxide would be on the ground, and we wouldn't be able to stand high enough to breathe.
We have to talk about density, not the molar mass.
What's the difference?
What do you mean?
Well, the molar mass is related to the. Do you know that it's 22.45 liters of gas for 1 mole, right?
Yeah, I know that.
Okay, great. Now that you know that, then why do you if it was all about density, why isn't the carbon dioxide at the ground and in fact so high that we wouldn't be able to stand up to breathe? Only plants would survive that. Do you see how you just, the thing about flat Earth is picking little bits of stuff like that are not coherent. They can't fit with one another. The problem with flat Earth is you can't make things fit with one another. When you make one little thing, it makes something else wrong. That's the problem with flat Earth. Get
Give him a
out of
chance
this
to
silly
think,
cult,
don't be
Andrew. You don't
celebrating
need to
anything
be
just
in it. You're
yet.
smarter than that.
Give him a chance to think. I mean, again, it is all relative density, so it's relative, Professor Phil, what you should understand. There is
Yeah,
no-
and some
Not.
of it,
Otherwise,
some of
why
it
the
is
hell
going
is
higher.
carbon dioxide staying at the ground then?
No, some of it is going hard, but again, it's not as simple as that. Like, there's perfect layers just because one is 2 grams heavier than the other one.
It would be. It would be. There is enough of it to make a huge difference. There's enough of carbon dioxide above us so that the carbon dioxide would be well and truly above our heads all the time.
Okay, so how do you explain that with gravity?
Well, thankfully, because of energy, because of kinetic energy, our gases are homogeneous.
But why aren't the gases being pulled
These
down?
homogeneous gas, that means that we've got enough oxygen, just enough oxygen, only 20% of it, but we've got just enough oxygen for us to be able to breathe. If you go up to the top of a mountain, there won't be enough for you to breathe. Why is that? That's because eventually they run out of kinetic energy. That kinetic energy turns into gravitational potential energy. Eventually, those gas particles can't go any higher than that. Some of them do. A few of them do. That's why there's still gas particles that even manage to get to escape from the Earth altogether. But most of them, 99.9% of them, stay below 30 kilometers. That's got to be something you've got to be thinking about. When you're arguing a flat Earth, you think, how can I make a flat Earth model in my head so that works?
Oh, you
can't even make a flat Earth model in your head to make night and day work.
We don't have a model.
You can't even make a model. I can tell you right now, at the equator, between two cities on the equator, why is it that two cities on the equator, between two longitudes, are further apart than two cities south of the equator on the same longitudes? Why doesn't it bother you? Why does that not bother you?
These things are not verified, Phil. Again, these are just your.
Yes, they are. Pick any two cities along two longitude, the same longitude south of the equator. They'll be closer than two cities on the equator. Why? Show me how you can do that without having either a sphere or two upside down cones.
Well, like I say, we don't have a model, Phil, so it's not likely.
Well, of course you don't, because don't you know why you don't have a model? It's because you can't have a model. You think that aeroplanes, millions of people fly every single day. You think the airlines don't know the direction and the distance between places?
Well, I mean, the pilots don't actually fly the plane, do they? They just are there to
Are
make
you being
sure that
serious,
if anything malfunctions.
You think the airlines don't know the distance between two places and which direction to go?
Maybe this is not a conversation for you, Spurs.
Well, we know that the airlines are part of the deception.
It's a little bit beyond you.
So when
It's a little bit beyond you,
when it
Spurs.
comes to your idea of the gases, you're invoking a force not been experimented on or with. So that's why he's asking you, how do you explain it with gravity? Why isn't gravity pulling the gases
definition,
down?
it is a force.
You don't have a model because you can't have a model.
Exactly. That's the only reason you don't have a model.
Yeah, but you
because
don't
it's
have a model
impossible.
either.
You do, though.
We do. It's a sphere.
Yeah,
it's all over the place.
Your model is broken. The geometry is broken.
No, it's not. Where's it broken, Kimo? Where?
No, it's broken because you're broken. That's where the break is. The break is in you, not the model.
Well,
the break is in you.
Timo, you can break the geometry with physical measurements. Do you have any?
Yeah, what we have is a 1 foot observer who's able to see way beyond.
Physically measured.
Yeah, way
Okay.
beyond the geometric horizon.
Physically measured.
So what? Well,
So at the horizon.
Let me show you
have
something.
the physical measurements.
Kimo, let's work on something, Kimo. I want to show you a picture, okay? All right. So I'm going to put it in now in debate chat box. It's in there right now. This is what you're talking about, okay? All right. You see that? It's that black swan thing.
Okay.
And right above it is another picture where you can't where half the rig is missing.
Okay.
Okay. So can you see that image? At the black swan. There's another one taken with the same camera from the same from the same location.
Okay.
And you notice that half the rig is missing.
Yes.
Now you flat earthers are going to say, "Oh, that's the diffraction limit." I want to know why the diffraction limit forgot to work for the black swan image. What was the diffraction limit doing?
What's the distance
What was the
to the
diffraction
first
limit
rig?
doing? Did somebody forget to wake up the diffraction limit for the black swan image?
No. Again, what we're looking at is supposedly physical obstruction. Yeah.
I'm looking at the horizon on one picture is in front of the rigs, and on the other picture behind the rigs. I want to know if the diffraction limit is the reason. Why was the diffraction limit asleep for the black swan image, and then decided to wake up for the one that where the horizon is in
It
front of the
wasn't
rig?
asleep. No, it wasn't asleep. The whole point is there's no.
Must have been
physical
asleep,
obstruction.
Chemo, because what the hell was it doing?
What's the point
It's
of
like
the black
the second
swan?
law of thermodynamics.
What's the point
On
of the black swan?
flacardia, it just goes to sleep.
What's the point of the black swan?
Well, there's a specific argument, Phil.
You don't know
With
the
black
argument,
swan.
Phil.
Yeah. Yes, I do. You're saying
What's
that
the
you
argument?
can see too far. But
Nope,
I'm
nope,
saying that
that's not the
bullshit.
argument. That is not the argument. See, you don't know the argument.
Phil,
Of course I know what the
actual
argument is.
What is the argument?
Nope, that is Nope, that's not the argument.
The
You're
actual
saying that
argument
the horizon
fallacious.
is too far away.
No, that's not the argument. How many times?
Well, what's your argument, mate? Because we
No,
get different
what is
arguments.
the black swan argument? Phil
The
Barrett?
argument has been you can see too far. The others you can't see the
No,
geometric
the
horizon.
argument.
Which one
yeah,
is it? What is the argument?
That's the argument. There's no such thing as a physical horizon.
Yeah, right.
Why is that? Why is there no such thing as the
You just
physical
proved it
horizon?
literally
we're
20
looking-
seconds ago when you gave me.
No,
gave us that picture, you just proved it.
this is just the case of where I see it. If I climb high enough, I'll just see it a different place. What's the difference?
There is no physical horizon, mate.
Why is there
There
no?
absolutely
Who
is
told you that? Was that QE again?
Oh God. No, actually, it wasn't QE. It was my own brain.
Yep.
Well, your brain's stuffed up right on this occasion, because if you get up, you'll see it. You'll see the geometric horizon.
Mate, you say you're a professor and you can't even answer some mathematics or physics formulas. That's
No.
how
I'm
shit you are.
just interested in flat Earth. I'm not interested in some trivial questions about mathematics. Okay.
Do you guys have any proof this guy's actually a professor?
Why do you keep
It
changing the
doesn't matter.
subject,
If I
mate?
was
You
a
get stuck in a
garbage
corner
If I
and
was
have to
a
wiggle your
garbage
way out.
collector, you still couldn't answer my question.
Because I thought
Let's
Phil
just
is
say I'm a
lot
garbage collector.
smarter, but
Answer
he's
my
not.
question now.
Are you like QE that only debate?
You keep dodging the
PhD?
point, mate.
Yeah, QE is actually incredibly intelligent. The guy has the vocabulary and the
No, he's
No,
not.
no,
He's
I
a
agree with the
freaking
vocabulary.
He's
I
either-
agree with you.
Here we go,
but
changing the
either
bloody topic
a
again.
scammer
And
or
you
an
guys
idiot.
let him do it. You're ridiculous.
He's a scammer or an idiot. Pick one.
Yeah, okay,
Keep
let's
going.
go back to
Don't-
You're doing
to
well.
Black
Let
Swan.
him change the topic.
he refused to debate me because I'm not a PhD.
All right, we're getting
Yeah.
out of
Only
order
debate
now.
PhDs.
We're
I
losing
Next
think
order.
time
he
you
was-
see QE, tell him to come and debate me.
I think
We're
he,
getting out of
I
order.
think
So,
he
Phil,
refused to debate you because you're too goddamn boring and dumb, honestly. Yeah.
No,
Right.
it's because I'm going to crash him.
He
Mate,
did
your
try
voice,
once, and then
no,
he couldn't
no
get out.
offense.
I
Your
did a model
voice,
tolerance just for him.
your voice
Well.
and the way you talk makes me go to sleep.
Go to
Like,
sleep
You
then.
won't debate me either, bud.
yeah,
you want to
can we
debate
go back to
QE,
Black
Big
Swan?
Blue? That could be arranged.
Hey, Andrew, we've crushed QE so many times here, and he hasn't even been present.
Yeah, stop being silly now. It was. Let's get back to this black
It's
swan
true.
argument.
It's
Phil,
true.
do you understand the?
You're
you
being
understand the
silly,
argument
Spurs. What are you
that's
talking
even,
about?
being put forward.
Yeah,
You, come on, Timo, you'll go now. Obviously, Andrew didn't work, so you try it now. You tell us what it is.
Well, I'm asking if you brought it forward. Do you even know what the argument is?
Yes, I do. The argument I've heard is that the horizon is too far away.
Which horizon?
In that black swan image,
No, but which horizon are you talking about?
the apparent
the
junction
one
of the
that you
sky.
the one that you can see, obviously.
Yeah. So in that image, where is the geometric horizon?
Where you can see it.
Fallacious argument.
So the
one that you
so
posted,
physical
Phil,
horizon changes from day to day.
Phil, the one you posted, where's that geometric
the
horizon?
Water change day to day.
Horizon is what you can see, okay? And what you can see depends on whether or how high you are or what the weather conditions are.
Mm-hmm.
What's hard about that?
But did you
And
know?
it has to do with the physical horizon.
Not geometric doesn't
Yeah,
equal
but
not
did you
physical.
know though, Phil, that when something goes beyond the horizon, it disappears bottom first?
Yes, I certainly do.
Why-
I'm looking
why
at the
does it
rig,
dis-
but
why
that-
does it
I
disappear?
certainly do know that.
Why does it
That's the
disappear
problem.
bottom first over the horizon then?
Because it's blocked by the curvature of the Earth.
Yeah, but why is...
Water between the observer and the bottom of the
So,
orbit.
hold on.
You
So,
can
are
see
you
it.
saying, Phil, are you saying the ground is rising up, covering the boat?
No, I'm saying that when you're standing on a sphere, everywhere you look, it's going down. It's going down. And
yeah.
if you
So
go,
when the
and
boat
if you
goes
put
over the
something further enough,
horizon,
it'll be beyond the point where you can see it, because as a tangent, you won't be able to see beyond that point.
yeah,
That's the
but
horizon.
I'm saying when the boat disappears, bottom first, is that because the water or the ground is rising up?
No, it's because the boat's going away.
So
Silly.
if you're
Below
one,
the
so
horizon.
listen then, if you're 1 foot and the boat physically,
You're not going to make me say the water rises.
Well,
You're going to make me
listen
say
then.
that the boat goes down.
Okay, so if you're a 1
There's
foot
a bit of
observer,
a difference.
if you're a 1 foot observer anywhere in the world,
Mhm.
physically, the boat will disappear bottom first for that observer at 1 foot.
You don't need to be 1 foot. You can be just about anywhere.
No, try to understand. The 1 foot observer is looking at the horizon. Yeah?
Yes, good. Mm-hmm.
So when a boat moves away from him, physically in the real world, the boat would disappear physically at 1.22 miles away.
You're looking. Are you? Well, no, it wouldn't, because usually you can see to about 3 miles.
No, at 1 foot.
On a nice day.
At 1 foot.
It would do that if you're not looking at it,
Fallacious
wouldn't it?
argument.
No, if you're 1 foot off the ground looking through your camera or telescope.
If we're talking about refraction as well,
I'm not talking about that yet. I'm saying physically. I know refraction can make. I haven't got to that part, Phil.
So I can't tell you for sure.
Phil, I haven't got to that part yet. I'm just saying, but physically, for the 1 foot observer, the actual physical boat will disappear at 1.22 miles away.
No, I disagree with that.
Put it this way: if you're not looking at it, it would do that. Once you
Yeah,
start
very
looking
funny,
at
boss.
it, you've got to take refraction into
Very
account.
Funny. Very funny. So
Yes,
Phil,
exactly.
I'm not joking, you fucking idiot.
all right.
The man's quite right.
Phil, the horizon.
I would see it. I would if I stood up. I'm looking at the horizon about 3 miles away.
But we're not talking about that yet. Let's stick to the 1 foot observer.
Well,
first.
I didn't put my head on the beach to have a look at it, so I don't know.
No, but this black
exactly
swan
what
has
it
been
looked like.
was taken at 1 foot. So let's go with it was
If I
lower
was
than 1
and
foot.
if I was on, I'm assuming that this is correct, and this is 1 foot above the beach. Then I can see what that looks like.
No, forget that image, the black swan. I'm just saying anywhere in the world, if you're 1 foot.
Yeah, what about it?
Yeah, for fuck's
If you're
sake,
1
I've already
foot
answered
off
that.
the ground, looking at the horizon, anywhere in the world, physically, the object will disappear at 1.22 miles away.
The point is a bit bigger than that. Hold up. How did you get the R value? How did you measure it? How did you measure the distance between the observer and the horizon physically? How did you find out what the distance between the surface of the Earth and the center of it is? How did you find that one?
Who are you asking?
Anybody.
Professor.
Did anybody measure that not using visual
Totally.
observations?
Absolutely. For a very, and it gets measured about every 100 meters by at least one satellite I know.
Yeah, okay, so it's pictures.
No, what's the picture? The satellite measures the satellite can see the Earth. Measures the Earth every on every pass.
Yeah,
100
okay.
minutes.
What's the official, like, how did we figure it out specifically that it is what it is?
More than 2,000 years ago, Eratosthenes did it.
Okay, so did he measure it physically directly? Did he know exactly the measurements?
Got pretty close, yeah.
I think you should stick
That
to the
was my
satellites, mate.
question. My question is, did we get that by doing observations? By measuring, like Al-Biruni, all right? Measuring the distance between the
that's an
observer and the
observation, yes.
horizon, yeah? And by
Yeah.
that, you figure out the radius of the Earth, right?
Obviously.
Okay,
No, never
you're fucked. Right there, you just put a stick in your ass. Why?
And
Because
Baroni did
you
not
just proved to us
distance to
who
the
the fuck
horizon.
is talking
Never.
over me.
Me.
Chikey, let him finish. Let him make his
Let me
point.
talk. Let
Too
me
much disorder.
fucking finish.
Okay,
Hold
let
on.
him finish. Go ahead, Andrew.
Moron. All right. So, if you're figuring out the measurement of the radius by looking at the horizon, using all the pictures you guys gave me right now in the last 5-10 minutes, of debunking Black Swan. All it proved was that the distance between the observer and the horizon is not a physical thing. It changes because of all kinds of things in the atmosphere. Thus,
All right,
that is not.
Are you done being wrong yet?
No,
That
of
is
course
not
not. You can hear him
physical thing.
talking.
Hey, hang on. Point to be made here, and it's going to be made. He did not measure the distance to the horizon.
Then what the fuck did he do?
Oh, no, you tell me.
Oh,
Come on,
he
genius.
just told you. You said he was wrong. So what's right?
Wait, hold up. I'm actually not saying I'm right. I'm just thinking if you didn't measure the distance between the observer and the horizon, I don't know how the fuck you would know the radius of the Earth by not measuring.
Well, I can give you a pretty easy. I can give you very easy ways to do that.
Hold up, guys. Hold up.
God damn it. By measuring the angle down to it from his elevated position.
That's better.
You realize that you measured that by knowing the physical obstruction, the horizon, right?
No. You're not measuring any distance to the horizon.
Yeah, I can see
You're
you've never
measuring the
done
angle
any
down,
geometry
taking
class.
the elevation. Hey, hold on a second, Hotshot. You've been running your mouth all day. Now, taking his elevation, the angle downward, and he can use algebra that they had at that time.
Okay, fucktard. Okay, so go again. So you know the height of your.
You might want to watch your mouth, son.
Just get on with the point because you're holding the conversation back here.
Andrew, if you're going to interrupt a guy while he's halfway through an explanation, you're going to need to be
finished
muted.
it. So,
You're going to be he wasn't
Right,
finished.
look,
You're going
we're
to need to
losing
be
order
muted.
here. Okay, all we're trying to do is find out how you got the R value. Why is it taking so long to go through it?
It takes us
because he keeps interrupting.
Hold up, Kurt. So you said,
how long did that take me?
Dude, just talk to me. First thing is it's the height of the observer, all right? So what do I need to find out the radius? Let's go. So one is height. Good?
He measured
the
angle downward and his elevation.
Okay, angle downward. What the fuck is that?
You don't know what the angle downward is?
The
What
fuck
is the angle
downward?
downwards? What
does it
is it? We need to know. Explain it, please. Let's move forward.
The drop from horizontal from his location.
And how did you measure that?
Measure the angular drop.
Cal Baruni's in the chat or something, buddy.
Maybe a inclinometer, perhaps,
Buddy.
something of that nature.
Okay, I'll explain to you. If you know your height, and you know, listen, I'll explain to you how he actually did it. So if you know your height and the distance between you and the horizon, you can measure that distance, and then you'll find out exactly everything you need to know about the physical so-called globe. You need the distance between the physical horizon and you. If you don't have that value, there's no such thing as the drop. You cannot measure the drop without.
Baruni did not measure the.
No, you don't.
Baruni did not measure the distance to the horizon.
Now you're okay. Can anybody do me a painting or something?
Talk
Write it
about
down on piece of
Eratosthenes.
paper and no, show to me how
That's
Al-Biruni
that's
actually
much more-
measured the R
Talk about
value.
Eratosthenes.
Without...
That's a much-
No,
that's a
you
much
guys
easier
are
measurement.
defying mathematics. I know very damn well geometry. There's no way you would figure out the radius of a sphere
bet you do.
by not
You
knowing
see
the distance
geometry
between
right
two
now.
points that are tangent on the sphere.
You don't
It's
know
physical.
Well, apparently you've never looked up the Al-Biruni method and studied it.
Maybe I'm wrong, but according to what I know, there's
I
no
can
way you would
guarantee
figure
you
that
are.
out without knowing the distance
I can
between the observer
guarantee
and the
you you're
horizon.
wrong.
Well, explain to me how. What do you use to find that out without knowing the distance
me
between the physical horizon and the moon? All right, there you
Have a
go.
look
So, in this picture, you need to find the R value. What do you know? So you know H, okay?
Yep.
We know H. Okay, what else do you know? You know alpha? You realize you
Go
can
alpha.
only find alpha by including the AC line, which is related to you and the physical horizon. Dumbass.
You don't need the length of AC to know the angle there.
Yeah,
of
you need
alpha.
AC. You need AC. You don't need. You need AC.
You just measure. No. You may know math, but you don't know how to like work with anything practically.
Okay, so I know alpha. Let's say alpha is 30 degrees. I'll try to do it. Okay, let's say H is 10 meters. Okay, And you're telling me that only using these I can find the R value?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's completely impossible. I'll keep on thinking about it, but I don't see any way it's impossible.
It's okay. It's okay for you to not know, but other people do.
Show me the
and Alberoni did.
Give it to me. It's basic geometry. I can give it to you in 10 seconds if you tell me the AC distance. Literally takes me 10 seconds.
That's the whole point. See, you came in making this claim that he used
the future curve. This is the future.
I'm not done yet. I'm not done yet.
Okay.
I am not done. Okay. Now, you came in making the claim because you're the harbinger of knowledge here. And you were telling us how it was done, and you were dead wrong. You have acknowledged that you might be wrong. Why don't you stick with that?
No, because
no. I want to be shown that I'm wrong. So you said if I only know alpha and H, I can find out the R value.
I think that's off the young people curve like that. Okay.
Shut up, Kimo. Shut up. All right. Hey, real quick, Andrew. I demand that you go and learn how to do this yourself.
He's not going anywhere. He's got you in a corner. He's asking you to give him a value so we can work it out.
I'm in no corner, and we don't need your pimping grandstanding here.
Right,
Shut
so
the fuck up,
Stop sending him
Kimo.
here, then everywhere. He's here right now, but we want to figure out how you got the R value.
He doesn't have to go away. He can read and learn right in front of us.
Then teach him. Then he's saying now, what does he need? We're not hand wave dismissing anything. This is you. This is why, things are the way they are, because it's not him. He said, okay, I'm open, I'm willing. Give me the answer. You're like, wow, no, you need to go and do this, go and do that. What are you talking about? This guy knows what he's talking about.
Kimo, he did the definition of hand wave dismissal.
No, he hasn't hand waved. He said, if I'm wrong...
Yes, he did. No, that's at a later time. But he said that there's no way you can do it.
According to his calculations. If you have calculations that can fix it, he's listening.
Is he reading the text chat? Big Blue has
just
something
posted
for
it.
him.
Okay, so we have AC. Are you fucking kidding me? You just debunked yourself first. First thing.
Explain it to us, Andrew. Break it down for us. What's he doing here?
Okay.
What is he laughing about, Kimo?
Okay, apparently.
Look, let's just see what's going on. Let's see what's next.
Are you that thick, Andrew?
So you said
Andrew, are you that thick, Andrew? The equation, the Alberoni equation is the thing in yellow down at the bottom. Do you see AC in there anywhere?
Yeah, I said I cannot find out the R value. I said I cannot find the R value without using AC.
I'll help you. You don't need it. And the equation is right at the bottom, Andrew.
You just showed me I need it. Are you kidding me? It's the first line.
Cosine alpha divided by 1 minus cosine alpha.
Wait. No, don't give it to him. Listen,
Only need H.
Wow, you are an idiot.
Alpha.
What do we know? Andrew, I'll help you. What do we know about the angle?
You're an idiot.
Oh.
Okay, so when I'm looking at B Blue's formulas, the only way we find the R value is by knowing AC, O, A, C in radians or whatever.
No, idiot. No, idiot.
What do you mean? I'm looking at it. That's what I'm reading.
This is the way the formula is derived, and at the end, the only formula you need is the thing in yellow. It is you don't need to know AC. R is equal to H. That's your height.
So hold up, I'm asking how you found out the R value.
That's
and
that angle divided by 1 minus. Don't you understand the mathematical proof,
bro?
Not understand that it's just a derivation of why the Alberoni formula works. That thick.
Okay, I cannot talk. Can I talk now?
You just don't know enough about this, do you, Andrew?
Let the spiral, Andrew, in
For
bursts.
15 minutes, I said without even knowing what he's done, and with all the knowledge I have of geometry, I said I need AC. Lo and behold, 53 minutes after the hour, I've been proven right.
You don't.
Oh, you've been proven wrong. I just showed you the formula, and it does not use AC, you stupid fuck.
How did you come to the fucking formula, you dumb fuck?
1 minus cosine alpha. Can you not read that, you dumbass?
Dude, that's
Once you have the formula, you can use it.
Oh my god.
You don't need AC.
Have you done a maths problem in your entire life?
He's questioning your math.
Just follow it, and you'll see how the formula was derived.
Beach ran
How? Where did you get it from? Tell me. Derivation from
It's
what?
right there. Do you understand enough math to go through that and understand the formula? Bond formula is the Alberuni formula.
Oh my fucking god, this is a
It just says it says there in the text above it. Can you read the text above it for the class, please, Andrew? Above the yellow piece,
Yeah,
read the
try that,
text.
Andrew.
Yeah. So
Read
AC
it.
divided
No,
by
no, no,
sine
no,
of
no.
O.
The words,
No, the
not the
text,
formula.
it's
The
the
text.
words.
Yeah.
Oh,
Te-
yeah.
The words.
Yeah.
Andrew.
It begins
Nice
with
and
this.
loud. Nice and loud.
It starts with this. This, which means the text above in black. This. You figure that? This, the one black above, this can be further simplified. That, the thing that's black, that can be simplified. I think you're really retarded. That's why I keep on repeating. Using trigonometry to arrive at the equation. That, which is in black, that can be simplified. That. The one in yellow is that which is black and is derived. You dumb fuck.
You dumb fuck. AC is not in the formula.
You're fucking
R is
retarded,
equal
mate.
to
I'm
H.
not
Cosine
spending.
alpha
You actually
divided by 1 minus cosine alpha. Andrew, you need to get your ass back in school, son.
I'll give you a quick question. What's sinus of 30 degrees?
Half, of course.
I don't remember. 0.5.
No, the most basic shit.
You need to go back to school.
Look,
I think
do
you
I
need
look
to go
like a
back to
goddamn
school.
sine
guys.
cosine
There's
table?
no
I mixed those
sinus
two
of
up.
30. Bro, I need tangent of 45 plus 15.7 degrees.
So what?
I can... You don't know sinus of 30 and you're telling me I don't know geometry?
I just told you 0.5. What's wrong with that, Andrew?
Kosho. Where's Kosho?
You not know the sine of 30 degrees?
Yeah, sinus of 30 is 1 divided by 2.
Oh my gosh, he's
Yeah, but what's
devastating
the-
you
isn't that
guys.
hard?
What did you say, Andrew?
Which is half. 1 divided by 2 is half, or 0.5.
Yes.
What's wrong with
guys,
you?
Lemon, this guy here is a young genius. Okay, he's been absolutely eviscerating the globe Earth floor here. And,
doesn't know what he's
what,
saying.
what he wants, Lemon. Maybe you can help him. He wants,
read the room, dude. Chemo, read the room, bro.
yeah, he's
Well,
all
I
panicking.
prefer to work with them and
Just
extend the olive branch.
re-editorialize the situation.
I mean, these people are pretty smart, and people forget about stuff. So let's work with this together, even though the globe is sworn to destroy us. And they,
So, Lemon, what we're trying to figure out is the angle.
Destroy yourself, man.
Lemon.
Sorry, Mr. Grimm, but it's true.
Lemon.
No,
So they're
You
trying
guys
to figure
destroy
out.
yourself.
Let's get back to it. Curve messed up. We want the angle to the horizon, and that's what we're trying to figure out how big the globe is, right, Andrew?
Yeah.
Yeah. So let's get. So Lemon, can you help Andrew out with a value?
With a value for what?
Yeah, so I said to find out the art value in the Alberuni observation. I'll post it again. I was given an image.
Okay.
And I said we definitely need the AC distance. If I don't have that, or I
just
don't
proved
have...
you wrong too.
You
Andrew.
don't.
I just
Can you
You're gonna
just
have to
let
help
me
us with
talk
Blue
to the
here.
guy?
Is Blue just
Can
gonna be
you
able to
just
talk
let
like
me
this?
talk to the guy, and
You
he
read
will talk for
further
himself.
simplify. Further simplified. What does simplify mean?
What does the word "this" mean to you?
Yeah,
Dumb fuck?
yeah.
we're
This
not
means
gonna
the thing
do
we're
this.
talking about. Yeah.
Primary
But it's
question on the
further
floor.
simplified.
You will not divert the discussion with a secondary question.
No,
Shut up with that
come in
stuff.
here after the fact, Lemon,
People, not
and
I
understand
do
the
not know.
context.
Anybody else?
Come in later
That is the
and
primary
come
question on the floor.
All right.
Do
Come in
not
after
divert
and
with
try
a
to
secondary
understand what
question.
happened.
That shit
Okay.
is extremely frustrating.
Who am I talking
One
to?
question at a time,
Here's
guys.
the problem. Andrew got his stupid ass handed to him, and now he's butthurt over it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Who am I talking to?
Wow, you're so mean.
That's Big Blue.
Right now, you're talking
Yeah.
to me.
Talking to Blue.
I'm sorry, I'm mean by asking who I'm talking to. Yeah, I'm
Not
sorry.
you.
So
Not
I
you,
said in that
I was
picture.
talking to Blue, young man.
All right, sorry. I'm sorry for that. I'm genuinely sorry. Sorry. That's the problem of conversations, and you can't understand anything in the So in that picture, I said I can only find the small r value using alpha, h, and any of the AC or CB measurements. Any of those. It would be much nicer to know BC. That would be really easy. You would do it in one equal sign, literally. But I can manage with AC. I was
tried to
told
help
I can. Can you just shut up and let me
Wait,
talk?
Andrew, I tried to
Wait, so
help you.
far
Can
he's
somebody
not
mute
saying
this
that.
guy?
Yeah.
Can somebody
Yeah.
mute this? Okay,
Yeah.
thank you.
Yeah.
So I said I can only find the R value. I was told, sorry, I can only find the R value using only H and alpha. I said that is mathematically impossible. Can anybody? Can you tell me? Shut up. Yeah, sure. Can you prove
I
me wrong?
proved you wrong. It's right
Shut
there on
up,
the
Big
screen.
Blue.
Yes, I did.
Blue,
Yeah,
wait.
and what we're
You
gonna
don't
do
know
about
sin-
blue?
I'm sorry, Big Blue, Big Blue. You don't know sinus of 30 degrees. Shut the fuck up, mate.
I told you what
Honestly.
the sine of 30 degrees is, you stupid little fuck. 0.5 is what I said. Instantaneously, dumbass. Do you not know that 1 divided by 2 is 0.5?
Did he really say 0.5?
He did.
Yes,
Yeah,
I did.
I heard it
Go
with
back
my
and play
ear.
it, motherfucker.
Oh, okay. I didn't hear it.
And what's the cause of 60 degrees?
Apologize.
Of
What's
70?
the cosine
So,
of
Andrew,
yeah.
Cos of
Andrew, I
70.
tried
I'll
to
have
help
to
you.
measure it. Hold up.
I
Andrew,
said the
I
cause
tried.
of 60.
Oh,
Can I
of 60.
speak?
Same shit.
Can I
Oh,
speak?
good.
Cos 60
What's
equals
the sine of,
230.
what's the sine of hey, smartass, what's the sine of 60 degrees? That's something every geometry student
Oh, yeah,
ought to
that's a
know.
good one. What's the
Square
sine
root
of
of 3
Sine of
divided by
60.
2. Square root of 3 divided by 2.
What's
What
that?
is that number? Right off the top of your head. Instantaneously. I'll give it to you. It's 0.866.
Dude. Okay, this guy's. You realize nobody's using that. Everybody's using square root of 3 divided by 2 when you actually do mathematics.
Otherwise, you'd have to put it in the calculator. Or remember the triangle. The triangle with all of its sides for the sine, cosine, and tangent relationships in the 30, 60, 90 triangle. But anyway, I don't know how to
That's
derive
not
this
even the question.
Alberuni
He
thing,
made
so
the
I don't know how
assertion.
to
Andrew
analyze
made the
it.
assertion that he, and that's all superfluous.
Yeah, boringology
Andrew made the
just said
assertion that you had to
he
know
can't do
that you had to know the distance. He has to know the
fuck
distance
this.
AC in order to find R, and
He's
I
intuitive
proved
that
it.
you would.
He was wrong. Here's the derivation of Alberuni's formula, which does not use AC. It only uses R and alpha.
And
Andrew,
So
Andrew,
flat
I
wrong,
tried to
Andrew.
help- Andrew, I did try to help you, and I asked you, what do you know about the angle ACO?
It's 90 degrees. You're fucking kidding me?
Ah, yes. Can you now find the R value without knowing AC?
No, I still can. You fucking stupid.
Yeah, then you need to go and learn geometry again.
Then teach me. Okay, so I know all the angles, right? So CAB, equals 180 minus 90 minus alpha. Cool. And we know alpha. And then O equals 90 minus alpha. Yeah, right. Actually, no. I know, I was right. Yeah. And you don't know any kind of distances, only but H. That's it.
You've been
That's
shown
all
that
you
there.
need.
Why
Bring
are
me
you?
the
What's the
derivation of it.
He gets it. I see it. I hear it. That was that silent moment.
Do you
Yeah,
understand?
so
Do you
you could
understand,
do
Andy,
sinus
that you
of
only need to have
O.
one side,
You
one
could do
angle?
sinus of COA, and you would be AC divided by AO. Problem is, you need the R value for that, so I can't see how you can do it.
You're looking
You-
for the
you-
R value.
Yeah, we're looking for the thing that we need to know to find it. That's retarded. I'm saying I cannot find the R value without knowing actual distances other than H. It's just
Bro,
stupid.
you
Like,
can't.
anybody
I
that
agree.
knows
You
math-
cannot.
That's
You
But I
don't need
can,
it.
and I've shown you how.
Yeah, you've shown me that you genuinely.
I
It's the
agree
first
with you,
thing
but you
starts
can't
with
do it.
AC. I laughed my ass off because you
Yeah,
just
oh,
proved
yeah,
to me
yeah.
that you need
Are
AC.
Are you
Because
actually
you're dumb.
saying that you don't believe that if you know the angles in a triangle in one side that you could find the other two sides? That's like 5th grade geometry.
You fucking kidding me?
He's
If
not
you
saying
don't know, so I give you any triangle. I
If
give
you
you
know,
all.
yeah, you give me any triangle. If you give me the
Yeah.
3 angles in one side, you can always find the other
Oh,
two
one side. The fuck, one side. What's the one side that I know
Yeah,
in here?
H is one
doesn't
side,
matter.
stupid.
That is not a side, fuck. That's a part of a side, you dumb fuck.
H.
That is not a
Is
side.
one side.
You're fucking retarded. You're fucking retarded. The only way you would use that, it would be in the triangle ACB, where you need the angle of ABC and ACB, which you have no fucking clue of. So shut the
While we're
fuck up.
talking about this, we can go to Wikipedia to
No, I'm
derive
honestly fucking down. Like you people are that. You think you're genuinely smart. You don't even fucking know basic geometry. It's a waste of
Oh,
my
bring on
energy.
the atoms. Bring on the atoms that you were bitching about.
This is not an
All
ad-hom. This
smart.
is not an ad-hom. This is objective, factual things. You're fucking dumb.
Let's
You're kind of an
Objective
idiot
for a
because I
fucking
teach
retard.
geometry, so this is pretty basic
No,
stuff.
Andrew,
I'm not sure
you're not a fool, but you just don't understand it at the minute. But I guarantee you'll go back and look at this carefully, you'll get it.
Can anybody, dude? I've been shown the formulas, and it starts with AC divided by sinus of O. It literally starts with the things I said I need.
Andrew,
what the fuck?
do you understand?
It's not the formula.
And then
Andrew,
it
let me
says
explain it to you.
this can be further simplified. It says this. It's literally the
That
thing
is the
like
formula
that
at the bottom,
can be further.
Andrew.
You
Andrew, the
goodbye.
formula is at the
Any
bottom,
flat earther that
Andrew,
wants to
in
say something to me
yellow,
before I
Andrew.
leave? Any flat earther that wants to
in
say
the
something
bottom,
to me before I
Andrew,
leave?
you've done
the formula in yellow is the
exceptional
formula.
job here.
Stuff
You've shown
above
that,
it is the
you can compete
derivation
with-
of that formula, Andrew. Do you understand that?
You've shown, Andrew,
Can
you
anybody
can compete
mute
with the
that
best
guy?
of them. Good luck to you and your path and your mission. You're still a young guy. You've still got loads more to learn, but you've already showed the guys here that they don't understand geometry. They don't
You
understand
are
how
shut
to
up,
make
Kimo.
angles.
He's a QE fuckboy because he wants to mute
Thank
blue when
you,
he got
Kimo.
wrecked.
Thank you.
You're an idiot, Andrew. Don't be an
Kimo.
idiot any longer.
Kimo, I hope you have a very good day, sir.
Mute
You
those
too,
who
Andrew.
know
Take care,
better
my
than
friend.
me.
Take care.
Mute them all.
Come along
Yeah.
now,
Andrew,
we're done with
Andrew,
you.
just go back and have a quick look at it. Have another look at it. Think about it, and you'll see that this is just that what you look at the top line is just a derivation of this formula. Once you've got it, you don't need any of the other stuff before it. All you need is what you have managed to derive. That's all you need.
Yeah. Goodbye, everybody.
Learn the meaning. Learn the meaning of simplify.
Bye-bye.
Learn